Good evening and welcome to the Yosemite Division quarterfinal matchup between the unbeaten BHS Drillers and the Redwood Rangers. Redwood is 8-2-1 this year. BHS 11-0, a rematch of last year's game, won by Redwood 25-24 in overtime.
Well, somewhat of a surprise last year. I think Redwood came in here and shocked the Drillers. This is a game BHS is definitely ready for, something I know their players are up for. They want this game. They've wanted to play Redwood in this game for a long time. Here it is. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Redwood blasted Foothill last week 47-3, and BHS beat South 42-13.
Well, Redwood has a very good defense. This is a team playing extremely well. They run the ball well, they pass the ball well, they have great balance. 8-2-1, they've had a heck of a year, but this is a Driller team that has no weakness. Special teams tonight could be the difference in this game. Redwood is going to have to take care of the ball on offense and not turn it over. Keep the ball out of BHS's hands tonight if they're going to win this game.
The Drillers and the Rangers tonight on the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
Would you like your advertising to be seen by large numbers of people? Seen by different age groups like kids or adults? Would you like your business's ad to be seen by any age 24 hours a day? Take a look at cable. The most choice, the most diversity. Time Warner Cable ads can work for you.
Good evening and welcome to a Yosemite Division quarterfinal matchup between unbeaten BHS, the top seed in the Central Section, number 3 in the state, against the Redwood Rangers, who are 8-2-1.
It's going to be fun, Mark. This is, like we said in the pregame, this is a rematch of last year's quarterfinals where Redwood beat Bakersfield in overtime. And Bakersfield, like I mentioned in the pregame, fired up, ready for this game. I think this is a difficult game for Redwood to come into, even though they might feel comfortable because they have some returning people that played in that game. Very difficult game for them to play because you got to come in here and play BHS. You beat them, BHS ready to play you. I think all the advantages right now are going towards BHS, but this Redwood team, unbelievable in their last 5 games. They've outscored their opponents 233-9. Mark.
Watch out.
Unbelievable.
It is.
So they are playing really, really well.
They beat a very good Foothill team 47-3 last week. We know that Foothill committed some turnovers, but that's their worst loss in, I guess, over a decade.
Well, I think the thing with Foothill, though, is that since the BHS game, it's been very difficult for them. I think that game took a lot out of them. They've played gallantly, but it's been very tough without Gerald Irvin being hurt. I think that's hurt their team. Baker's done everything humanly possible that he could do to carry the club, and they've had a great season. They ran into a red-hot Redwood team, and I think that, you know, the culmination of things just hurt the Trojans, but watch out next year. Ned'll be back, and they're going to be very good.
You talk about the Driller offense. You mentioned Rodney Wright, but you start with Nate Lewis, the quarterback, who's had a sensational, consistent senior year.
Well, Rodney Wright has been the difference in as far as big plays and the things he can do. We can talk about the 3 backs for BHS. They're loaded. They got size, but Nate Lewis, and listen to these stats. The 6'4", 192-pound junior. I believe he's a junior. He's a senior. Senior, okay. The senior. I think I wanted him to be a junior. I want to watch him play again. He is 78 of 132, 59% for 1,394 yards, 17 touchdowns. He's second only to Dover as far as percentages and as far as throwing touchdowns to interceptions. He's been the difference in the game, no doubt about it.
And only 3 interceptions.
Only 3.
What
Mark.
a ratio.
He's been outstanding.
That's amazing.
He has given them the balance they so desperately needed to go along with the running game.
And the leadership.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
The players on the team said he's matured so much from last year. Of course, he's grown in confidence ever since that Clovis West game, which he was 9 for 9. That's the game when he became the primary starter quarterback for BHS.
There's no doubt about it. He's the man. I mean, he runs the team. He's the leader.
You get underway. BHS and Redwood. BHS in dark blue tonight. They have the ball across the 30, 40-yard line. It's Rodney Wright, 40. Slips a tackle. Close to midfield. Mr. Wright up to about the 48, number 14.
And Mark, there was a lot of talk in the papers about BHS scoring a lot of points in the second half. They needed to get off to a good start. I think Rodney might have read that a little bit. And I know they talk about that. I don't think BHS purposely likes to start slow. I don't think that's their thing. But the bottom line is how you finish, not how you start. That's why this Driller team is so good.
And that's why they're 11-0.
Well, exactly right.
Unfortunately, a flag is down after the run back, and BHS will be stooped back inside their 30-yard line.
Got a clip, Mark.
They don't have the great field position that we thought they would have. In fact, they'll have very poor field position at about the 16-yard line, so that's not where you want to start your first drive of the game.
Well, that's an advantage for Redwood. This Redwood team, like we spoke of earlier, giving up 9 points in their last 5 games, Mark, and that is incredible. They've been playing so well.
Remember, Redwood tied Monache the first game of the year 21-21, another team in the playoffs, Monache. Nate Lewis, the quarterback for the Drillers. And the ball is given to Adrian Dugas. Gets across the 17 to about the 18. Nice string job by the Redwood Rangers defense.
Well, that's what they're going to have to do, Mark. They're going to have to turn everything back in to make sure that they get pursuit to wrap up, because for the first time in about 3 weeks, BHS is completely healthy. Dugas, McCoy, Bennett, they've been all dinged up. At times, we've seen Bennett as a single back there for the Drillers because Dugas and McCoy have been banged up a little bit. But tonight, they're all healthy and they're ready to go.
Keep your eye on number 73 for Redwood, defensive tackle Grant Harrington, 6'1", 266, a senior. Had a good game last year against the Drillers when Redwood won that game in overtime. In fact, the Drillers scored first and kicked the extra point to go ahead 24-17. Redwood came back, scored, went for the 2-point conversion and converted.
Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, I think it just shocked so many people that BHS could be beat. I mean, I think people thought that they were that good.
Well, Bennett didn't know that the game was over at the time. He was just kind of mesmerized by the whole happenings of an overtime.
There's no doubt this BHS team this year, I think, is far and above that last year's team, and it's because of Nate Lewis. Of course, Rodney Wright, you can say so much about him.
But somebody always makes a big play on their team when they need it most, and that's been the situation this year. As Rodney Wright is wide to the left for BHS. Nate Lewis barking signals. Ball given to Dave Bennett, breaks a couple of tackles, goes forward. But Redwood to the task, gets up to about the 16-yard line.
So Redwood so far doing a good job. Of course, Bennett runs better than anybody in my opinion. Up the middle, outside, as far as a fullback. I don't really know if you can call him a fullback, Mark, because he can run outside. He has great speed. You know, I just think this kid's going to be a tremendous college player. He can catch the ball. He does everything well. He's a tremendous blocker. So he is. I think he's a guy tonight that Redwood has to be concerned with.
Sure.
They don't want to concentrate too much on the outside and then let Bennett run wild up the middle because he can break a big one too.
Yeah, he will. Justin McCoon, the left defensive end for Redwood. Lewis to throw. His pass complete on the far side. The Dugas hit and dropped across the 20 to about the 21. It'll be punt time for BHS. So the Redwood defense coming up big here in the first series for BHS. Looking to have great field position.
That was good coverage downfield that time. Although Rodney looked like he had one-on-one coverage, the safety came over, doubled up, so Lewis did the smart thing and dumped it off, but the linebackers for Redwood did a good job, closed in, kept them from getting the first down.
You know, Redwood's had good teams in the past. They play good football there.
Well, they're well coached. They're very well coached, Mark. I mean, they know what it's all about.
Hunt is underway, almost blocked. Number 21 calling for a fair catch for Redwood, Jacob Yavasil, their all-purpose player, plays a little running back, flanker back, returns punts. He's one of their outstanding athletes, Jacob Yavasil. He's 6 feet 170. He's a senior.
And I don't know if this is a surprise to see this Redwood team this deep into the playoffs. I mean, people have been talking about them all year, solid. I think they started slow and they've really come on like we talked about, especially on the offensive end. But I think a little bit of a surprise there, but not for the Drillers. Like I said, BHS wanted this game from the very beginning.
Mario Salilo is a quarterback for Redwood, 5'9", 158, a junior. Ball is given to the fullback, number 32, straight up the middle, Mark Squaglia. He's only 5'9", 165, which is very small for a fullback. The tailback is Jason Serings, who is 5'11", 168.
And I think they're very similar in styles. I mean, not great speed to the outside. They run well. They can go outside, run well between the tackles, but tonight they're going to have to do a good job of blocking up front against the Drillers because you know how well their linebackers play. They're so good. And it's so difficult to block, I think, man-on-man against the Drillers because it's so physical.
Ryan Woolley wide to the right, Yavasil to the left. The ball given to Serings, very quick. First down into Driller territory at the 40-yard line. Definitely.
They blocked man-on-man that time.
Serings, number 33 for Redwood, blasting up the middle.
And we just spoke of him. He runs very good in between the guards and the tackles, and that's what they're good at. And that time, man-on-man blocking, right ahead, boom.
Notice how they spread the receivers wide to each side to open it up a little bit.
Well,
the Redwood Rangers.
The thing is, one of the things Redwood's going to have to do is be consistent with the ball. Time of possession is going to be key for them tonight.
Andy Thatcher wide to the right for Redwood, split backs. Ball's given to Serings. Drives to about the 37-yard line and about 3 Drillers in on the tackle.
Well, it looked like there was offsides on that play. It looked like one of the Drillers in that neutral zone, but I guess not. But
Lucas and company for BHS.
That time, of course, when you run to Kelly Miller's side, you might as well forget it.
Not only is he a great tackler, of course, he's an outstanding cover man. And you know what? He's a very good running back if
yes,
they need
he
him.
Is.
Very quick.
It's amazing because we've seen him fill in this year and run with Bennett. He looked like he'd been back there all year long.
Yeah, he almost broke one in the last game that we did inside the 10-yard line. Second down, 2nd and 8 for Redwood. So Lilo stumbles and falls down A break for BHS at a 47. And apparently a BHS player fell on him and the referee threw his flag.
See, I don't know why you throw that flag, Mark. I think
I
that's
don't understand
ridiculous.
it either.
I mean, there wasn't a late hit, it wasn't a spear or anything. I mean, you're just playing a game, he fell down, and naturally, I think naturally you just feel like you got to fall on him. You don't realize
you should wave it off.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think that was intentional.
When you're out there playing, you're aggressive.
Right.
And your job is to tackle the quarterback.
That was a flagrant play at all.
No.
I mean, I could see a spear or a helmet or something, then you get a flag, but I think that was kind of an accidental thing. I don't think that was, but I don't think they're waving
It doesn't look like they're agreeing with us.
No, they're not.
It looked like
so
a
it doesn't
very
matter
quick
what
flag.
we say.
Yeah, it never does.
But I guess sometimes the way the rule reads, you know, it's black or white. If that happens, you're down, you're down.
Okay.
And I figure they feel like the defensive player should know that. You don't hit the guy when he's already down, so you got to call it. I don't agree with it, but they called it. And right now, Redwood's getting the breaks so far.
Yes, they are. 1st and 10 for Redwood at the BHS 30-yard line after that personal foul penalty against the Drillers. Sarens, quick opener to about the 25-yard line. Just off the left tackle. Miller making the tackle for BHS.
Boy, nice job that time on the quick hitter. They kind of ran a quick hitter
Split
off
out
the left
really
side.
wide that time.
They ran a pro set and a quick hitter off the left side. He almost broke that. Almost broke it.
Well, he has a lot of quickness.
Yes,
Both
he
their
does.
backs are about 168, so they're not big, but they're explosive.
You know, they run very quickly to the hole. They're not super fast, but they get into the hole quick.
Yavasil and Woolley wide to the right for Redwood. I formation behind Salilo. Sarens again, tries to cut back. BHS up to the task as it gets to about the 24. So coming the other way this time, the Rangers.
A little misdirection that time, run back to the right side, and BHS doing a nice job that time. Again, Lingo just waiting on him there and put the hat on him.
And Peterson converging on the tackle. He's
Right.
only played about 4 games this year after his injury.
Yeah, being
he
hurt.
rotates at down lineman and also plays some, I think, guard or tackle for BHS on the offensive line.
He's very versatile, but they've missed him this year, Mark. I mean, how can you say that, though, as dominant as they've been?
Well, you know they have. Woolley wide to the left, Yavasa wide right for Redwood. Salito keeps it rolling to his right, has a man open, complete, the 15, stays on his feet, out of bounds. Number 7 for Redwood, Gino Salito, has to be his brother.
Well, I'll tell you what made that whole play, the ball fake. Because
That was
they've
a
been
great
running the
fake.
ball, outstanding play fake, sucked everybody up, and all they did was just, they ran their fullback right out of the backfield and just dumped it to him. Well executed
Nice
play.
toss.
Very nice.
You have to have touch on that type of pass if you're a
It was
quarterback.
well executed. I mean, they did a nice job of executing, and they've executed on this drive so far. They've looked very good.
Wide to the right for Redwood, Ryan Woolley. Yavasil wide left. They kind of switch, split backs for Redwood behind Salilo. Sarens, nice cut, touchdown Redwood. Boy, he broke quickly to that hole, made a nice right to left.
Well, they ran that quick counter back. That's the second time they've ran it. And I'll tell you what, right now, on this drive, they did an excellent job up front blocking against the Drillers. And that's not something we've seen a lot of people do to Bakersfield, Mark. But I'll tell you what, they did a heck of a job that time in their opening series.
Very impressive opening drive for Redwood. It was helped out by that 15-yard penalty against BHS when the quarterback fell down. Would have been about a 5-yard loss. Instead, they gained 15. Woolley to PAT attempt. It's up, and it's good. 6:43 to play in the first quarter. Redwood 7, BHS nothing. You're watching the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
And again, we go back to what people have been saying all year long. The Drillers have a habit of starting slow, and then they just say, well, they have so many weapons, they'll make plays, but you don't expect it. That's why they're so dangerous. And I think, you know, I talked about this earlier. Redwood has to continue to put pressure on the Drillers. I think that's the key tonight, offensively. Because BHS sooner or later is going to score, Mark. You know that. I mean, it's a given. They have to continue to play well offensively. I think that's the key.
Yes, BHS starting off on the downside again tonight. Of course, last week they were down 10 points to South, winning 42-13. You can't continue to play that way.
No, not at all. I don't think that's something Coach Preston, he knows that his team cannot continue to do that, because the deeper you go, the more things can happen, Mark. And when a team gets on a roll like this Redwood team, I mean, physically, man for man, they might not be better than you athletically, but as a team, they can outplay you. They're playing so well, they play with so much confidence. And now that we just heard today that Centennial knocked off McLean, which I think is going to shock a lot of people, 38-35.
Oh.
If BHS wins, it sets up the rematch. Centennial and BHS. So interesting stuff.
Tyson Holyfield.
Oh yeah, interesting things
Well, remember,
happening.
Rodney Wright ran the opening kickoff to the 48, then they had a clip.
Right.
Brought him back deep in their territory. They didn't move out of that. Then a quarterback goes down, and then they hit the quarterback, and Redwood picks up 15 other yards, so a couple of mistakes for BHS. Wright again, 35-40, stays on his feet, across the 50 into Redwood territory at the 49. It will count this time.
Mark, he
wants to take it all away.
He's so much fun. He's so dangerous. You know, just kick the ball somewhere. Kick the ball to the other side of the field.
Why are they kicking the ball to
Well,
him?
they're squibbing it, but the ball's going to Rodney.
Well, they don't have a kicker such as Baker or Foothill, just kicks it through the end zone.
I'll tell you what, if it was me, I mean, I'd kick the ball out of bounds, take the penalty.
Yeah.
Just get it away out of his hands.
Well, Baker with his great leg can kick the ball through the end zone. In high school ball, you can't run it
There
back.
aren't many kickers like
That's a great weapon.
like Baker.
Oh. Right in front of us, wide to the right for BHS. Single running back is Bennett behind Lewis. Bennett with the ball to the left side. They string him out, midfield 40. Dives forward, did a great job, gets to about the 47. Nothing was there, and he did a tremendous job just to get that far.
Yeah, that was all Bennett, because they really did a nice job at the line of scrimmage. Made that play go outside, designed to go off tackle, turned it outside. Great pursuit so far by Redwood, doing a really nice job. Getting their linebackers up quick, and the safeties coming to help out. Well, I'll tell you what, they're ready to play, there's no doubt about it.
Elliot Zajak's the left tackle, G.J. Barthel's the left guard, Bergman at center for BHS, David Lamelli and Scott Peterson are alternate right guard. Dan Toppy at right tackle, he's about 6'3", 200. Play action for Lewis. Out here to Rodney Wright, complete, hit immediately, and dropped. 3 Redwood players on him as he gets to about the 42-yard line. See where they stop it.
I'll tell you what, Rodney did a great job that time, because that was a long out pattern, and Lewis showing his arm right there. That's a college throw.
He was going
right
to come
there.
back and make a spin move. They came up and stuck him.
Well, Rodney, because Rodney likes to do that, but what was impressive about that play is that Rodney made a tough catch to the outside, but then spun back inside and at least got a couple of yards after the catch, even though there were 3 guys on it. But impressive there. Because he actually, that could have been a play that BHS could have been looking at a 3rd and 6. Now it's only 3rd and 3 because of his second effort.
3rd and 3 for BHS at the 42-yard line, Redwood territory. Looked to be shy of the first down. The ball is given to McCoy, but I think that in this situation, I think the BHS would go for it.
Yeah, this
Fourth
is
and very short.
4-down territory right here, Mark.
It's very short.
Yeah, I thought the ball on the spot was ahead. Should look like that.
Dugas the ball carrier for BHS.
Should look like that spot was a little bit short there, but we're not on the field. We're up here in the booth.
They're not going to go for a measurement. Looks like they have to get to the 40 or just inside the 40-yard line.
They can't get this. They don't need to be here.
That's right. That big offensive line. 4th down, less than a yard for BHS. 4:38 to play in the first quarter. Nate Lewis barking signals, calling a long signal, trying to get Redwood offside. Now he calls a timeout.
Interesting.
Trying to draw Redwood offside.
Not a bad idea. I mean, that's exactly what you want to try to do. I mean, you know, you want to see if they'll be a little bit overzealous and jump off sides, but you know, if you take the timeout, you don't make a mistake.
John Dvorak for BHS is limping as he goes off the field, number 86. He's a key component of this team, not only at tight end, but at defensive end for the Drillers.
He does a lot of things, Mark. And they haven't had the injury bug cost them any games this year because of their depth, but they've had people banged up. There's no doubt about
6'4", 200.
that.
I mean, they replace guys like that.
BHS has, not only do they have skilled people, but they have size and skilled people.
Yeah.
I mean, their big people are athletes.
Like I mentioned, you can't miss Dan Tapia, 6'3", 300. But Elliot Zajac is about 6'5", 290.
They're
the
huge,
other tackle
Mark.
spot.
They're huge.
4th down again, BHS. Nate Lewis. Full house backfield behind him. Dave Bennett tries to cut back. Stop him for a 2-yard loss. Redwood ball, 1st and 10. Wow.
I'll tell you what, right now, Redwood,
What penetration.
I mean, BHS never got off the line of scrimmage. They just blew them off the line of scrimmage, and Bennett had no place to run. I'll tell you what, right now, Redwood is just taking control of this game early.
Brent Harrington and company, the Redwood down lineman, controlling the line of scrimmage tonight. Come up with a big 4th down play. 1st and 10 for Redwood at their own 42-yard line. Of course, their fans are in front of us.
As you can tell.
Yeah, the action is at Griffith Field. Single running back behind Salilo. Looked like there was some jumping. Back to pass, good protection. Fire it long. Excellent coverage for BHS by Polson.
You're going to have a tough time throwing on the corners of BHS, a real tough time, because 2 of the best cover guys around. I mean, they do a great job of covering, and it's tough. That's going to be a tough assignment. I think you have better success against the drillers if you throw over in the middle of the field, cross the field, use your tight ends and your backs like we saw earlier. It gets very difficult, and forget about throwing against Kelly Miller. You can forget that.
Yeah. Miller's on this side, Tyler Polson on the other side for BHS, and safety, of course, is Sean Mackey, number 10. Saren's at the middle, stays on his feet, gets up to about the 44, driven back. It'll be 3rd down and long for Redwood. They're in their own territory.
Mark, I like that call, though. I like that. I like their call. Stretch them out a little bit, see if you can get something on that play. You never know. Keep them off balance.
That's what a great team would do.
Yeah, exactly. And the play calling.
Once you make a big stop, go for the kill.
Well, the play calling's been outstanding so far from Redwood. And I think, again, you know, when you look at both these teams, Redwood comes in, they are the underdog. BHS, the top dog.
Everybody wants to knock them off.
Ranked number 3 in the state. So BHS, I think, is always going to have a little bit of a cooler demeanor because they've been there, done that. You know what I'm saying?
Salito rolling to his right. Manning coming, the pass complete. It's a 1st down for the Rangers. Woolley, the wide receiver, close to the 40-yard line in Redwood territory. Great execution, nice call, good throw.
What they're doing too is the play fake freezes the linebacker that time, and again, that was Manning out there trying to guard the receiver. He got sucked up on the play fake. They did a little bit of a rollout, simple little 10-yard out pattern, and boom, right on the money.
Salito looks very poised tonight at quarterback for Redwood. That's a nice throw, rolling to your right, throwing on the run, hitting the man. Good pattern. Showing a lot of weapons, the Redwood Rangers, 1st and 10 in BHS territory. Sarens tries to cut back. BHS defense up to the task, about 3 or 4 drillers. Wow. Coffee, one of them.
Well,
number 74.
I mean, I'll tell you what.
He wants a piece of the action.
If you have to run into Coffee, I'm going to tell you what. Oh, my gosh. Folks, he's a big man, and he's only in high school.
Number 74 for BHS. He's 6'2", 290. Jonathan Coffey.
290,
you better
folks.
call him Jonathan, not John.
Yeah. Well, he's had an outstanding season, Mark.
Yeah.
He really has.
Yavasa wide to the left, covered by Kelly Miller in front of us. Sarens the ball carry, nice cut back, stacked up inside of 40 to about the 37. It'll be 3rd and long for Redwood. Another big important play for the BHS defense to get the ball back for their offense.
Yeah, at this point, I mean, BHS needs to stop to break some of the momentum because Redwood's coming here fired up. They took that first series down and scored. Great play calling, mixed it up with the pass and the run. And, you know, like we said, they've looked very good. But
you have to take that emotion away from them.
We've seen BHS do this before,
Yeah.
Mark. I mean, we've seen this.
It's a broken record.
I mean, we've seen this exact kind of game before, at least 3 times this year.
Kevin Jones, left tackle, 6'4", 275 for Redwood, the left tackle. Talk about a big boy. Salito to throw. Over the middle, complete to Roy. That's a 1st down for Redwood, tackled by Miller.
And that was in front of Miller that time. But what they did that time, Mark, is I think they caught BHS in the zone that time, and they ran just a simple little curl pattern back inside, behind the linebacker, in front of the safety, and a great pattern, and boom. And we talked about that before. I think if the drillers have had problems this year defensively in the secondary, it's been when people have thrown over the middle or in the creases against them. That's a difficult thing to do because BHS puts so much pressure on the quarterback. But Redwood doing that tonight.
He's had time to throw tonight, and he's thrown the ball right on the money.
Yes, he has. He's looked very good,
Great
Mark.
execution for Salilo. Split backs behind him. Looking to his right. Woolley knocked down by number 89 for BHS. Excellent play. Defensive linemen have to put up their hands.
Yep.
And Jason Stewart to the task, 6 feet 230, the junior.
Well, Stewart has done that all year long. We've seen him do that a lot.
Kind of telegraphed that.
Well, if he gets, a lot of times it happens to Stewart, if he gets blocked low, or if he knows he doesn't get deep penetration, he'll just leave his feet and get the hand. He'll get his hands up right away. He's very good at that. Of course, that's great coaching.
I think you could tell that Salilo was throwing that
yeah,
way. He
that was
looked
a
that
little
way the whole
telegraph
time.
that time, yeah.
2nd down, 2nd and 10 for Redwood. Woolley to the left. Sarens. BHS with great penetration. Coffey was in on the tackle, but did not make the initial stop. It was Stewart, 2nd consecutive play for him. He's hot, he's on a roll.
Well, like I said before, Stewart plays the run or the pass equally well. And you know, one of the things, when you look at a well-coached team like we just saw Stewart knock that ball down, coaches work on that. They work on their reads, and they teach those defensive ends that if you see certain reads from alignment or a pass block stance and you don't get penetration, if it's a quick hit, get your hands right up. And we've seen Stewart do that at least 7 or 8 times this year.
3 receivers wide to the left for Redwood. Salito to throw. The protection breaks down. He goes down, fumbles, but I think the Rangers come up with it. Coffey and Lingo wanted a piece of the ball.
That time they had a blitz on. That time Lingo was coming from his outside linebacker position.
Well, he wanted that football.
And again, we talked about how that's why it's so hard to throw on the drillers, because of the pressure from their front four, and when they start blitzing and mixing it up, it's awfully tough.
try to create some havoc in that offensive backfield. It'll be 4th down for Redwood. 43 seconds to play in the first quarter. They're trying to determine whether they should go for the first down, kick a field goal, or punt it. But the ball is inside the 30-yard line at the 29. It would be about a 46-yard attempt.
You would think this would be field goal territory, but you never know.
I don't know about their kicker.
Right, we don't know that situation right now. But again, BHS changing it up a little bit that time. Had a blitz on that time, get a linebacker in there, put pressure on the quarterback so that he doesn't have time to look and throw, because he's looked so good so far and he's had great protection.
You know, the BHS defense had to do something.
Well, they got to.
They had to put some pressure on him because they don't want to be down 14-0.
Well, not at all.
Their offense has only had a couple of series in the game.
Well, we talked about what's the important thing for Redwood? Time of possession. And so far, Redwood staying
dominated.
right to the game plan, doing exactly what they want to do.
Isn't it amazing how BHS has struggled so much in the first half in the last month?
I mean, how do you figure that they could be that good? I mean, that's just their depth, though. I mean, that's why you go into the fourth quarter of a game thinking we've got all the momentum. You know, we might have a lead, or we might be tied with BHS down 1 touchdown, down 3, and you're never safe. That's why it's so hard to play them.
4th down, Redwood is going for it.
Yeah, going for it, Mark.
Salilo in the shotgun, showing a lot of confidence in their offense. 4 receivers
Trips
out
to
on
the
the pattern.
left.
Throws it into the end zone, has Woolley there. Touchdown, Rangers! Woolley beat the BHS defense. I saw him the whole way on the post.
They ran trips to the left, Mark. 3 receivers. He was a slot man. He ran just a simple post. He was wide open.
Yeah.
And it looked like BHS was confused in the secondary. Wide open, touchdown.
Got to put pressure on the quarterback with so many receivers going out. You think they can get to the quarterback.
Here's the smart thing they did that time.
Yeah, the inside
They went
position.
shotgun that time to change it a little bit. So they go with the long snap, so BHS can't get the pressure on him. But it looked like BHS just got lost that time. Great execution by Redwood.
It was. And he's the PAT kicker. Does not make it. Woolley, 13-0 Redwood, with 38 seconds to play in the first quarter. And you watch Woolley just beat the BHS defense. There was like 2 or 3 drillers in the area, but he had a couple of steps on him and a perfect throw.
Oh, it was a great throw, right on the money. And he had plenty of time to deliver the pass. And again, it just looked like BHS. Something happened in the secondary. Either they're in the wrong coverage, somebody got lost, or whatever. But irregardless, it's a touchdown.
They completed a touchdown on the 4th and probably about a 12 play. So they made all the big plays tonight, the Redwood Rangers, and they're throwing BHS off guard.
Yeah, they are. They really
throwing
are.
a lot of different looks. And
well, I think one of the things that they've done is that their balance has been the thing that's helped them so far in their first 2 possessions. They ran the ball, you know, with a little bit of success, not great, but a little bit. They've mixed in the pass, but their play action's been outstanding, keeping BHS off balance. And I'll tell you what, I'm a little surprised that they've been able to throw the ball on the drillers like this. I mean, the coverage, but they've executed. You know, it's been outstanding, their execution. But I'm surprised that they've been able to throw the ball on the drillers.
And this is the home field for the BHS Drillers. You don't want your season to end on your home field, definitely. But you talk about BHS, you talk about great teams, you talk about 4 quarters. You play 4 quarters of football.
But the key thing, Mark, is that the farther you go, the more things can happen in the playoffs. And you don't want to continue to play this way all the time.
Rodney Wright takes it at the 20, 25. Does he want to go down across the 35 to the 37? So over the second consecutive time, BHS has very good field position. You know, but of course they have to do something with it.
Mark, Rodney's averaging about 25 yards a kickoff. He's had 3, and he's got about 25 yards on each one of them.
And unfortunately, the first one had to be called back. They would have been close to the 50-yard line.
He's due for breaking one of those. Well, let's see what the drillers can do, Mark. They need to get something going here. Redwood doing everything right, making all the right calls, and right now has all the momentum in this game.
They've got to BHS very well, that's for sure. Walker wide to this side, right slot left. Tyler Polson over there, single running back behind Lewis is Bennett. Pass complete to Walker, and a short gain to about the 39-yard line. Using a different player.
Walker, the possession guy, very good hands, runs the short routes well.
He's trying to show some different people.
Well, sure. And again, you know, the thing is, they're going to come back to Rodney. I mean, they're going to get the ball into Rodney's hands, let him make some plays. But the bottom line is that they've got to establish the run. They have to establish the run, and then the pass.
That's their bread and butter.
It is. It is. I mean, they're going to be able to get the ball out to Rodney, and he's going to make plays, but they've got to establish the run.
Dave Bennett out of the game for BHS. Daryl McCoy in there as the first quarter comes to a conclusion. 13-0 the Redwood Rangers over the BHS Drillers on the high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
Whether you need just 1 or 100, you'll always get a perfect copy at Time Warner Productions. Our video duplication department uses state-of-the-art equipment and provides pro-grade videotape at no extra charge. For $10.95, duplicate up to 1 hour from any of these consumer or professional formats: VHS, VHS-C, SVHS, Beta, 8mm video, Recorder, Recorder SP, Pro Beta SP, or Digital Betacam. For $15.95, duplicate up to 2 hours. From corporate video duplication to family videos, you'll always get the best copy at Time Warner Productions.
If you've got friends or family overseas, or you work or travel internationally, you know that videotapes from many other countries won't play in your home VCR. Time Warner Productions can help with state-of-the-art technology that can convert any foreign VHS tape into a tape that can play in your home. And as always, we provide pro-grade videotape at no extra charge. For $29.95, duplicate to or from any foreign format from any country in the world. From corporate video duplication to family videos, you'll always get the best copy at Time Warner Productions.
We begin the second quarter. BHS down 13-0 to Redwood at Griffith Field. The Drillers with a 2nd and 8 situation. Ball on the right hash mark. Lewis, draw play. And Redwood in the backfield. Daryl McCoy is tackled. Grant Harrington for Redwood, and also number 44 for the Rangers, Maurice Rodriguez, the linebacker, converging on the tackle.
Well, that was more like a delayed draw, and I think that time that I don't think that play really developed too much. I think it was a late developing play, and Redwood smelled it out, did a nice job getting rid of their blockers.
The Redwoods had a great penetration tonight.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they've been getting penetration on everything, Mark.
Talking about the big BHS lineman. 3rd and 10. Lewis thrown over the middle to Roddy Wright. It is broken up by Woolley, number 80.
Yeah,
and here comes the flag.
And the reason the flag's coming on that is not the guy that came across, not the free safety.
It's on Yavasil 21.
Right, because Yavasil had a hold of Rodney, he couldn't make a play on it. That's a good call. That's a good call.
And
Can't wrap the receiver
The players
up.
were looking at Woolley knocking the ball away, but Yavasil was a man on Wright
You
initially.
can't wrap a guy up and not allow him to make a play on the ball, and that's what happened. That's a good call. And again, Lewis put the ball right where he had to.
Right.
If the ball is not thrown right where it is, maybe they don't make that call because it's not catchable. That ball was catchable.
Yavasil and Woolley are two guys that we'll be calling quite a bit tonight, as they're both wide receivers. Woolley is the place kicker.
Well, Woolley's looking extremely
defense.
good tonight.
Yeah.
He's caught 2 big passes,
ball
caught
player.
the touchdown pass.
1st and 10 for BHS as they get a break.
He's got a tough assignment. He's guarding Rodney Wright.
You know it. He's playing off him too by at least 10 yards. 1st and 10 for the Drillers inside the 50-yard line at the 49 of Redwood.
And let's see, Mark, if they don't go with some hitches and stop and go here for Rodney.
Yavasil back very deep to safety for Redwood. Excellent run by McCoy for BHS.
I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen the hitch and go to Rodney yet because he's getting one-on-one coverage out there.
Setting it up.
Huh?
They're setting it up.
Well, I know that, but I mean, it's out there. He's getting one-on-one coverage. So let's get the ball to Rodney.
The best run of the night for BHS. They pick up a 1st down.
That's the best job of blocking tonight, Mark, so far.
McCoy in the backfield with Bennett. Bennett the fullback, McCoy the tailback. Roddy Wright wide to the left for the Drillers. 1st and 10. Bennett is stuck at the line of scrimmage. As usual, falls forward. But the two prominent names, number 44 has made a couple good sticks for Redwood. Maurice Rodriguez, the 218-pound linebacker, number 44.
Yeah, he did a nice job that time because I thought Bennett had a hole there. And I'll tell you what, they are really getting deep penetration against the Drillers. That's something that's happened to Bakersfield this year.
Josh McClain, the defensive end, 6'1", 203 for the Rangers on this side. It's number 95.
The Drillers are going to have to start blocking, Mark. That's all there is to it. They're going to have to do a
2nd
better
and
job
9 for
up front.
BHS. McCoy going to the outside. Cuts back. Good block by Roddy Wright. It's like a 1st and 10 for BHS. Wright, the wide receiver out there, just kind of shoveled his man to the outside.
But that was all McCoy that time, Mark.
Cut
that play
inside.
was designed to go off tackle, and he just bounced it outside and showed how well he runs either inside or outside because he's got some speed.
Remember we had talked about McCoy, Bennett, and Dugas being banged up in recent weeks. And apparently tonight they're healthy. At least they say they are. Wright coming to this side. Number 45 for the Drillers, slot back, Kevin Weigel. Now he's in motion left. Lewis to McCoy. They string him out. He's way back to the 35. Hit and drop by Grant Harrington at the 34-yard line. That play simply didn't work, but excellent penetration by the Redwood Rangers.
Yeah, and that time McCoy he would like to have that run back. Should have just put his head down and taken the 3 or 4 yard loss and trying to turn the play back around. That's not something I think Coach Preston wanted him to do.
But we've been talking about Redwood's penetration.
Yeah.
They are just simply all over the backfield.
Well, one of the things that's happening too is they're getting their linebackers up in a hurry. They're jamming everything up at the line of scrimmage, which BHS normally nobody can do that to because they're so physically strong. But they're jamming things up, and their linebackers are making great plays, getting up in a hurry.
Well, it's working, whatever they're doing. 2nd and 20 for BHS. 2nd and 20. Bennett behind Lewis, looking right. His pass rolling to the outside as he tried to hit Colson. Good coverage in that zone defense by Redwood. Very difficult pass to throw as we have 3rd and long situation for the Drillers. Down 13-0 here, early stage of the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, and I think BHS is a little bit off kilter so far. I mean, Redwood's thrown them off a little bit. They mixing some things up defensively, doing a great job up front. I mean, BHS hasn't been able to get off with any big plays so far, and Redwood just kind of maintaining, you know, kind of keeping the lid on it for now.
For now. Lewis with Bennett behind him. Right wide to the right. Colson. Lewis, heavy rush. Now he goes back to his right, looking downfield. He decides to run it. 40, 35, nice spin move. 25 stays on his feet. Great effort inside the 20-yard line. They shot at the first down. What a tremendous play.
That's kind of, I'm sure that kind of haunts the Highland people. He made that big run against Highland. That was reminiscent of that play right there.
Big and strong, 6'4", 192. We talked about him before the game. He could have lost 15 yards on that play.
He did that all on his own, Mark, all on his own.
Gives him a chance at a field goal. I think it's a 4th, and I'd say about a 6 situation.
But Redwood,
Walker will have about a 37-yard field goal attempt.
Redwood not giving up the big play, Mark.
No.
They will not give up the big play so far.
Walker with a 37-yard attempt. Snap is down, the kick is up, it's high enough. It's good. So thanks to the great run by Nate Lewis, set him up in field goal position, they at least get 3 points.
Yeah, and that's something they needed right now. They needed to get down there and score, break that Redwood momentum a little bit. But if you're Redwood, you feel good about that.
Sure.
You'll take that 3 anytime against the Drillers. But right now, Redwood's controlling this game, and they're controlling this game at the line of scrimmage. That's where everything's happening right now.
Nice kick by Walker.
Yeah, Walker stepped in there, did what he had to do, put the ball between the uprights, and that 3 points could be a pivotal 3 points in this game later on, Mark. You never know.
I think it's a confidence boost for BHS. They haven't been doing anything. They get some points on the board, makes them feel pretty good. They'll come out and play better football.
But the other thing too is that you get 3 points on the board, like I said, and that could be the difference in the game late. You know, if it's a 3-point game,
13-3, not 14-3.
You never know. You never know what can happen. So it could be the difference in the game. You don't score there because the Drillers' prior 2 possessions weren't very good. They were inconsistent. You got to get something going there. And
if Nate Lewis doesn't make that great run, that's a 37-yard. They're out of field goal situation. He gets within 4th and 6, and that was really the key play. They could have dropped him for a 15-yard loss.
Well, that speaks a lot for his character and the maturity that he has, and he's a winner.
He didn't want to go down.
He is a winner, big time.
Might have been 4th and 30 instead 4th and 6.
But let's talk about the Redwood defense. Normally, in games this year, Lewis turned that play into a touchdown.
Right.
Redwood, even though that was a big play, didn't allow him to get to the end zone.
They haven't been allowing too much tonight. Coming up with big play after big play. Really credit that defense. Walker boots it. He's pumped up through the end zone. That cannot be returned by Sarins. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Redwood at their own 20-yard line.
And this is the worst field position they've had so far. They've had excellent field position, so let's see if BHS's defense can do something here. Now, the turnover becomes a factor now. BHS scored, stopped the momentum a little bit. Redwood doesn't want to get into the mode of having a turnover to give the ball right back to the Drillers. So anytime in a big game, time of possession, turnovers, they all play the big part. If you're Redwood right now, you want to continue to do what you've been doing your first 3 possessions, but sometimes field position changes things a little bit.
I think it's a pivotal time for the BHS defense. Sarins with the pitch. Across the 25 into about the 27-yard line, going the other way.
I think you feel more comfortable sometimes, Mark, though, when you have the field position. There's not as much pressure on you. Sometimes when you're pinned down a little bit, it's a little bit tougher. You feel the pressure. And then then the turnover factor becomes more of a. If you turn the ball over with field position, sometimes it hurts you, but most of the time it will not if you have a good defense.
It doesn't bother you as much either.
Right, exactly. But if you're down in your own territory, BHS gets in the red zone. You know what they've done this year. So
tends to get fairly shaky. Willie Yavison wide to the right. Number 32 across the 35 to about the 36. We talked about him in a pregame show. That's his first carry for Redwood. That is Nick Squaglia. He's only 165, but broke loose.
right now,
inside the BHS defense.
right now, Redwood doing a great job with quick hitters on the drillers, going off quick counts, keeping them off balance. And those quick hitters, they're popping off 6 and 7 yards at a whack, Mark.
And we're both somewhat surprised by that. 1st and 10 for Redwood. They keep it going inside the 40 to 37. Salilo split backs behind him. And movement by the big left tackle of Redwood. That'll cost them.
Hey, Redwood's
And he can't hide number 72. Kevin Jones, I mentioned, 6'4", 275.
Redwood's not small.
Oh, no.
They're not small. I mean, they've got some size up there, and they do a nice job of blocking up front.
And that guy, he looks like a redwood tree in their offensive line.
Let's go back to the fact, folks, that this Redwood team has scored 233 points in the last 5 games and only given up 9. Keep that in mind. As we're in the second quarter with 7:09 left, and they've only given up 3 points. So they're right in line with what they've been doing all year long, and this is the most potent offense that you're going to see around.
They beat the Trojans last week, 47-3. Sarins, Stewart and company string them up and drop them back. Diaz, Lingo, the linebackers were there. Stewart coming from the outside. But BHS tonight has to make the plays on 3rd down. They've stopped Redwood on a few carries and they let him get loose for a big game.
Stewart's interesting because he makes more tackles standing up than any guy I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
He's always strong.
Yeah, he is. He's very strong. He's always throwing guys down, one-arming guys, or knocking the ball down.
No, he's not a sumo wrestler, but apparently has a lot of strength in his upper body. Number 89. Salilo, 2nd and 15 situation for the Rangers. Pitch back to Sarins, good speed to the outside. Diaz and company drop him inside
Miller.
the 40.
Oh,
Miller
did
over there
you
is
see the
coming
hat
up
on
and
that
popping.
top, Mark?
Number
Oh.
22.
He got rid of his man downfield, and he was on that play in a heartbeat
Looked like Sarins had a chance to get some real estate.
until Miller showed up. That was
Converges on the play very quickly.
a great one-on-one tackle in the open field that time.
Now here's that key 3rd down play. 3rd and 10, driller defense, you got to stop him. You don't have to stop him entirely. Just make him punt it at least on 4th down.
Well, they haven't had to punt yet, Mark.
Yeah. They're inside their 40-yard line. Willie Squagley wide to the right. 2 of the 3 receivers. Salilo rolling out. His pass complete. Midfield. 1st down inside BHS territory to 45. Number 24 getting loose for Redwood, Andy Thatcher.
And that time, Mark, they did exactly what they did on the touchdown. They ran trips to the right, which is 3 receivers. The slot guy just ran about 10 yards down and curled right back inside the linebacker, in front of the linebacker. The ball was delivered on the rollout, very simple. But you keep the free safety deep downfield, is what they did, just on a straight pattern, straight streak right downfield, and ran that slot man right in front of the linebacker.
It was wide open, and the quarterback's been hitting him. Salilo. Single running back behind him. He's just not getting it. Plenty of time for throwing deep to Woolley. Incomplete at the 5-yard line. Close coverage by BHS and Adrian Dugas.
Great protection that time.
Nice throw by Salilo.
It was a
Good
great
arm.
throw, but great protection. He had all day to throw that ball.
He's had great protection all night except for the time they blitzed him.
Well, BHS is going to have to mix it up a little bit. I think Redwood's proven to the drillers in this first half that they can block a little bit.
He threw that ball almost 50 yards, and it was on somewhat of a line.
Well, he's shown us in the first half that he can throw the ball taking a deep drop, or he can throw the ball off the rollout. He's very effective.
He's a dangerous quarterback.
Yes, he is.
For BHS to contend with. Woolley to this side. Nice fake. Screen left to Sarins. 45-40. Cuts inside 35 until about the 31. 1st and 10 for Redwood. Showing so many looks to BHS and execution.
What made that play? Again, the ball fake. The play fake at the line of scrimmage. It was a tremendous job.
I wasn't sure how the ball.
Tremendous job, fooled everybody, and a great job of getting the blocking out there, getting the lineman downfield to set up the screen. And again, great play call.
Does the rest.
Tremendous play call.
I tell you, that's good coaching.
Yes, it is.
A lot of practice time. And the quarterback is an excellent ball handler like he is. He can make so many things happen.
When you get to this point in the season, it's about execution. We've talked about that a million times. If you're going to beat the better team.
There's a trip set. 3 guys wide to the right. Salilo rolls to his right. His pass complete. Great reception by Woolley. Out of bounds, 1st down.
And that time, what happened with the trips that time? First time, they got Woolley in the slot. He got on a linebacker. Touchdown. Second time, they got the slot guy, which was a possession receiver inside. That time, Woolley was the slot guy, and he got a linebacker again.
You see that beautiful reception off his fingertips?
So what am I saying? What I'm saying is they're getting the matchups that they want for Woolley to catch the ball. They're getting it against the linebackers, and it's very difficult for the BHS linebackers to cover those wideouts.
Oh, and a quarterback can roll out and throw like that and put it right there, and you have receivers.
Execution is the key, Mark.
High formation behind Salilo. First and 10 for Redwood. Pitch back to Sarens. Cuts back. Gets up to about the 15-yard line.
Nice job by Sarens that time, Mark, to put his head down and just kind of fall forward.
Dunn and Peterson converging on the tackle, but Redwood continuing to move the ball downfield.
And they're doing it by balance, by the run and the pass. And really, they've got this BHS defense just baffled.
Baffled.
They're going to have to, BHS is going to have to make some serious adjustments. And they're going to have to get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
They've got to get pressure on him.
When you have so many guys going out, you have to get quarterback. The trip set is to the left now. Yavasil and company over there. Salilo is rolling to his left, looking into the end zone. Great pass! Touchdown, Redwood! Yavasil, not short.
He was just
might
short.
Be shy. Yavasil with the reception. Great throw, rolling to his left, throwing back across his body.
And again, I'm just sounding like a broken record.
Oh, man.
Who caught the ball that time, Mark? The slot man. And I think all four of their trip sets that they've ran have been successful. The slot man is the guy they're throwing the ball to. They string you out with the other two, and they go right to the slot man. They're just doing a great job.
They're at about the 1 yard line, inside the 1 yard line as they knocked it back. Yavasil with the reception. Great throw by Salilo. First and goal for Redwood. Split backs behind him. He keeps the ball. Rolls. Touchdown to number 32 for Redwood. And that's the guy who had one reception. Nick Squaglia, 165-pound fullback, wide open.
Outstanding job. Again, play fake at the line of scrimmage, the rollout,
Tremendous
nobody
play
there.
fake.
Nobody there. And right now, Mark, they've got BHS completely fooled. Completely fooled.
Great quarterbacking and overall execution.
Great execution up front, Mark, because that's where it all starts. The guys up front are doing a great job. They are manhandling the Drillers right now.
I wonder where they've dominated opponents in their last 5 games. Willie's kick is up, and it is good. Redwood with a 20-3 lead over BHS on the Drillers' home field.
I'll tell you what, it's a shock to me. I didn't think they could come in here and do this, but you know, Mark, you mentioned something to me about BHS early in the season looking so good, getting all the national attention and then, you know, getting the attention on the state level. And how do you focus when there are some games that you know you're going to win? Maybe you're not playing up to your potential. How do you get through those games? And I think sometimes mentally you have to get your teams through that and get them prepared. This might be the best thing for the Drillers at this point in the season because they know, hey, this is it. They have to start playing football and they've got to be more consistent and put together 4 quarters instead of 2. But when you play better teams, Mark, like this Redwood team that's executing the way
Very
they are
difficult
tonight,
to come back.
It's tough. I don't think the better teams are going to let you come back in.
No.
They're not going to let you.
I'll tell you one thing, the Driller faithful are shocked tonight, as you and I are. A very impressive performance so far by Redwood. As you mentioned, great coaching, tremendous execution, and what a quarterbacking job by Mario Salilo, the quarterback.
Salilo's been outstanding, Mark.
His play faking has been tremendous.
Well, I think the thing...
Very good receivers, too.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's their play calling. I mean, their coaching staff very well prepared. They mixed it up, kept BHS off balance.
And they kick the ball deep, taken by Bennett at the 1 yard line to the 10. Look at that penetration. 15, cuts back to about the 20 and goes down to 21. Excellent special teams by the Redwood Rangers, who are doing about everything right tonight, leading 20-3. 3:17 to go in the first half. BHS has not had the ball that much tonight.
I know one thing BHS hasn't seen this year, except with against Highland, and South High does it somewhat. But the way Redwood has thrown the ball, the formations they're throwing out of, the trips, the 3 wide receivers, BHS hasn't seen that. And they've had so much success with that, and BHS is going to have to make the adjustment because you know Redwood's not going to go away from that. They're going to keep coming back with that.
Well, the Drillers are in trouble tonight, that's for sure, down at their own 20-yard line. Pass complete to right, 25-30, nice move. Stays on his feet, goes to the 35. First and 10 for BHS.
There's my West Coast offense right there.
Man.
There it is. Just keep doing that. He's going to break one. I'm a little surprised we haven't seen that so far, Mark. I mean, because he's getting one-on-one coverage out there, and I think they're going to have to go back to that. They're going to have to get him the ball more so he can make plays, and then that should loosen up the running game and allow BHS to start to run the ball.
The question is, will it be a quiet BHS locker room?
Oh, not this locker room. Not tonight.
First and 10 for the Drillers at their own 35. Right is wide to the right. I formation behind Lewis. Sprint out right, looking for Rodney. The pass is complete. The 45 spins away from 3 guys, goes down as he comes back.
You know,
looks like he has a first down at the 45.
Mark, I said that earlier, so they must be listening to me. But you know, I mean, hey,
you have to get him the ball.
There's some smart people on the BHS sidelines. They know. If anybody has questioned Rodney Wright, I had somebody earlier ask me, and we were talking about it. You know, is he really a Division I guy? I mean, do you really think that he is a Division I player? I'm going to tell you what, folks. There have been some great wideouts to come out of this town, out of this school right here. But this guy is something else. I mean, he's special.
Well, he's a tremendous player, not just as a wide receiver, as a punt returner, as a kick returner. He blocks field goals too. Oh, the draw play doesn't work. Redwood, Grant Harrington, number 73, making a big stop in the backfield.
And Harrington leading that defense.
I tell you, I told you about him.
Yeah, you were talking to me about him before the game.
6'1", 266. The Fresno State Bulldogs are interested. They need some defense there.
Well,
They'll have a new coach next year.
Go to the WAC. I don't know if there's much defense
Well,
there,
they need some defense.
Yeah,
That's why they can't win any games.
Tell you what,
They can
Redwood,
score 35 points a game and not win too often.
Redwood right now just doing the job up front, Mark. We can't say enough about them offensively and defensively because they're winning the battle in the dirt.
Extremely impressive. Second and long for BHS. Lewis State drop back. Good protection. Now it drops down, and he will go down to 40. Couldn't get away this time. Wright was deep. Also, Walker was running a deep pattern for BHS. Simply did not have the time. Great coverage.
In that situation, Mark, the patterns just took a little bit too long. The protection was pretty good, but I think Redwood was in a zone that time, and I think it fooled them a little bit. They just got to get.
Well, let's face it, Bobby. They've taken BHS out of their game
They
plan.
have. They've got to get. BHS has got to get into sets where they can throw the ball on quick outs to
Yeah.
Rodney, possession routes, and let Rodney make plays.
The first two passes in this drive.
Right.
And you have to get the ball to Rodney. Threw it left, he threw it right, two first downs.
I do think that they're going to be able to throw the ball wide and put pressure on Woolley because Wooley's guard is out there. He's trying to defend right, and that's going to be a tough assignment all night. They stretch it out a little bit, not allowing maybe the free safety to come over as quickly, and Rodney gets the one-on-one. He's going to break one, and that's what they need to do.
But like you and I had mentioned at the beginning of the game, BHS has to run the football.
Yeah, they do.
They had one run of over 11 yards for a first down, which helped to set up the field goal, but they haven't run it effectively. And Redwood has kept the ball away from them.
They have.
We're almost the end of the first half, and BHS has had the ball, what, 4 times
This
tonight,
is their fourth
maybe?
possession, right, exactly. But we talked about what it was going to take tonight to make sure that they win this game, right, at a time of possession.
And if they don't have the ball much, they're going to have to make some big plays, BHS.
Exactly,
They're going to have some 16, 70-yard
That's
runs
exactly
or plays
right.
like they normally do. They can't, they can't chew up 8 minutes of the clock and not score.
Well,
only score 3 points.
The thing is, BHS is not accustomed to playing from behind. They're really
No,
not. I mean,
no,
they've been behind in games, but not like this.
Gary Austin wide to the left for BHS. Lewis throwing. The pass complete to Polson. Fumbles the ball. Redwood has it. 1st and 10 for the Rangers. As they stuck Tyler Polson as they made a reception at the 40-yard line. They really popped him.
Well, that was a great throw by Nate, too. That ball was right on the money, but just a great play defensively, and you got to take care of the ball.
Excellent hit at the right time.
It was a great play on both sides.
And Tyler is still down, shaken up. What an emotional game performed by the Redwood Rangers tonight here in the first half, leading 20-3 over BHS with 1:18 to play, and the Rangers have the ball.
First turnover tonight, and it goes against the Drillers. The first takeaway tonight goes for Redwood.
I would say that's a forced turnover.
Well, I would say too, but I'll tell you what, it was a great hit. Well played on both sides. Like I said, it was a great throw, great catch, but just a better hit. So now the Drillers have the pressure on them. There's 1:18 left in the first half. They're down 23, and Redwood's moved the ball at will. So
you talked about the domination of Redwood in their last 5 games. They'd only allowed 9 points. That's amazing.
It is amazing.
We're seeing that defense tonight.
When you play,
I didn't really expect this.
When you play a foothill team, even though they have, I think, emotionally been difficult for them since the BHS game. When you play a foothill team, they can put points on the board, and you hold them to what, 3 points? I mean, you're doing something. And they haven't played a weak schedule. They played some good teams.
They tied Bonacci. I believe that Clovis West beat them.
Right.
I'm not sure who else defeated them.
But,
probably Golden West. They're in the same league.
Right. They played a very good schedule.
Okay.
They played good teams, so they're ready for this. And again, like we talked about, we felt coming into this that BHS would have the advantage because of the emotional factor losing last year. But Redwood, comfortable with the Drillers, seen them before, beat them here, have guys returning. So they're not unaccustomed to this. They're not nervous about it, and I know they felt confident coming in.
The question is, we'll see a rematch next week possibly. Will it be between Centennial and BHS or Redwood and Centennial?
I don't know. But either way, it's going to be a good game. I'm sure right now that BHS is thinking, hey, we better get something going or we're going to be watching.
Well, what I know about BHS is that they do play 4 quarters, and they're in dire straits right now, but they're always an excellent team in the second half.
You know, the thing is, Mark, in the Centennial game, I mean, Centennial, I think, had really complete dominance of BHS for a half, and then all it took was 3 plays by Mr. Ryan, and that was it.
But of course, that score was 0-0 after 3. They weren't behind. Salito to throw in a shotgun. The flag is down, throwing it deep. BHS with great coverage on Yavasil. Miller back there.
Kelly
along
Miller
with Dugas.
doing a great job that time.
Maybe a hold against Redwood.
And I told you, Mark, they're going to go back to the trips, and that time they had 3 wide receivers. And again, looking for the slot man deep down the field. So every time, you know, they look for their slot guy. It seems like the inside man and the wide man are doing the job of stretching the defense, and they like to come back inside with their slot man, whether he's curling, whether he's running the post. They've been successful with that, and BHS is going to have to make adjustments in the secondary on how they cover that.
That's an interesting point that you made, in that they have been successful with that type of formation. I'll tell you one thing, Salilo can really throw the ball.
Yeah, he's got a great arm for a little guy, doesn't he? Oh. Not a very big guy, but he's got a cannon. But great protection.
That's the whole key. Quarterback has to have time to throw. Now he's rolling to his left. He throws well going that way. The pass is high to Woolley, makes the catch but out of bounds.
Woolley's got some hands.
I was going to say, tremendous hands. Remember the catch over here in front of us?
He's a nice receiver.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Has some height, number 80.
And speed.
For Redwood. List him at 6'1", 180. That's a good size for a receiver, almost perfect.
Oh, I think it's great. I mean, he's
a little bit of height, size.
Yeah, he's very strong. He's got good hands. He runs the routes across the middle well, can take a hit, and he doesn't have
throw the ball high to him.
He doesn't have great speed, but he's deceptive with his speed, and he can go deep.
Nice flank wide to the left. They have that trip set to the left. Yavasil and Woolley. And number 24, Scaglia. Salilo to throw over the middle. Post pattern, incomplete. Good coverage by the Drillers on number 24. That was Andy Thatcher, who caught a first down pass during their last drive. I tell you, Salilo will keep the Driller defense busy tonight. Well, we have another hold against Redwood.
We got another penalty against Redwood. Now they're starting to hurt themselves, and they don't want to give BHS any Christmas presents late in the second quarter either, Mark,
here. It's 1:03 to play in the first half, and as you mentioned, they don't want to make any mistakes. And they're basically backing up. They're trying to throw downfield, and in essence, they're backing up.
And this is a BHS defense that will take the ball away from you in a heartbeat, and they can make a play defensively and score a touchdown on it. I mean, that's how good they are. So
they're salivating in the defensive backfield.
You don't want to get too carried away here. You still want to be safe. You don't want to go in. You don't want to go in 20-10. You'd rather go in 23.
Remember, Dugas has replaced Mackey at safety for BHS in the last 2 series. Pitch back to Sarins. Look at that speed across the 35.
Mark, did you see that play by Kelly Miller?
Kelly Miller coming up and blasting him.
He was 15 yards off the ball when that ball was pitched. I mean, he is just incredible.
Now, we've seen his speed and his quickness playing running back for BHS. You don't always get a chance to see it as a DB.
Well, I haven't seen a corner. I have not seen a corner this year that plays like Kelly Miller. I mean, he plays all facets of the game. If he can cover, he comes up on the run. I mean,
most corners don't like to come up and stick like that.
He can hit.
Especially in high school. A lot of them are good cover people.
Yeah, he's tremendous.
But they're somewhat apprehensive.
Well, there's a number of great ones, and we talk about them every week. I mean, there's a lot of tremendous corners and great cover guys in this league. And but certainly Kelly Miller, if not the best, certainly one of the best.
Well, he's a very aggressive cornerback. 4th down for Redwood.
Well, here's the danger right here.
Woolley will be punting with about 50 seconds left in the first half.
If they kick the ball to Rodney Wright, I'll be very surprised.
I just pooch it out of bounds. Kick it out of bounds. Kick it to this side.
Well, the way they defended the Drillers, I mean, they feel comfortable about that, really, at this point. But don't give Rodney the ball because he's capable of making the play.
54 seconds to play in the first half. 20-3 Redwood. I just kick it away from him. If it goes out of bounds, that's the way it goes. Or kick it to this side. Ball's on that hash mark. Nice deep spiral away from Rodney Wright. It goes out of bounds. Nice kick by Woolley. Man who does quite a few things for Redwood. PAT, punter. Excellent wide receiver. Plays some safety.
He's Mr. Versatility for him.
Well, you have outstanding athletes in high school. They have to be out there.
Well, you got to use them.
Ethan Beck and a lot of guys that, in the Bakersfield high school.
We were talking about earlier about, Baker at Foothill, and then you got Ethan Beck and his leg. And I mean, there aren't many guys that I've seen in high school with Beck or Baker, those types of legs. I mean, it's incredible. But, there are a lot of guys like Woolley who do a lot of things for their team, and the coaches have got to utilize their ability.
Right. 1st and 10 for BHS. If they're on 42, 47 make it. Lewis to throw, slips momentarily, pass, almost intercepted by number 57 for Redwood, Seth Hines.
And that time, he should have checked off and came back to Rodney because Rodney had the seam on the left side. He was wide open, and I think Rodney will tell him that when he comes back.
Yeah, Lewis forced that ball. As he went back, he slipped momentarily. and trying to get it off, but excellent coverage by Redwood.
Oh, very
they were in the
much
right
so.
place at the right time.
I think Nate that time kind of, he was looking one way the whole time, and we don't see him do that very often.
Well, let's face it.
Normally he'll check off and
He's
go
in a
somewhere
situation where he's trying to make something happen. You're down 20-3, so I'm not saying they're
turn the ball
panicking.
over again.
Lewis back to pass, flips it out to Bennett. Knocked out of bounds across the 45 to about the 47. Clock down to 38 seconds. At the least, BHS would like to get into field goal range for Walker, who had a 37-yarder earlier in this game. They're down 20-3. I mean, 3 points is better than nothing.
Well,
they still have to go a ways.
They need to get the ball in the end zone here, and they're very capable. They've got to get the ball to Rodney. Get the ball in Rodney's hands, let him make a play.
Where's number 14? Here he is. Wide to the left side, covered by Woolley. Bennett, the single running back. Nate Lewis calling signals, looking for Rodney. Wobbles it out there. Picked off by Yavasil. The 40, 45, 50 down the sidelines and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Double coverage for Redwood.
They're not going to get that set on that pattern for him the rest of the game because the free safety is going to come over every time. The thing is, the ball wasn't that poorly thrown. It was just played well. They're going to have to get a slot out there for Rodney if they're going to run him up on that post or a straight streak like that because Redwood's going to play that like that all night long.
We're in the closing stages of the first half with a 20-3 lead for Redwood. 29 seconds to play, and they're in BHS territory to 39.
I don't think Redwood's going to sit on the ball.
Well, they'll go for it. Salilo's been throwing a lot of passes into the end zone, some for completions, some close. Shotgun to throw it deep. What an arm for Woolley. Oh, almost makes a diving catch in the end zone. Boy, he stretched out for that.
I thought he had that. And the coverage was good. He just made a great play.
His acceleration is amazing the last 10 yards.
Again, out of the slot, Mark. Another slot. I mean, that's again, they've run him out of the slot that time, and he was open. I don't know if he was open. He just made a great play for the ball. The ball was thrown right where it had to be.
I'll tell you one thing, this BHS defense will be tired in the second half.
I mean, that was pretty good coverage.
It was good coverage. This is a team that has a killer instinct, the Redwood Rangers.
Well, I think you have to. I think at this point in the season playing BHS, you can't sit on the ball. You got to keep going for it. You've had so much success.
Salito from the shotgun. Protection breaks down momentarily. Goes to the 50. Oh, it's in the hands of Stewart. He'll go all the way. I don't believe it. 2010 touchdown BHS. They got the play
right there.
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable.
Oh.
They've done it all year long. The defense comes up with a play. I mean, Redwood's just taking them out of the game the whole first half in one play. One play.
They stripped him of the ball. The ball bounced straight up in the air to Stewart, who had nothing but pay dirt in front of him.
We said they wouldn't sit on the ball. Maybe they should have sat on the ball and be safe with it, right? I mean, it's incredible. That's how explosive this Driller team is. It can happen like that.
Mr. Stewart has had a very good first half.
Yes, he has.
We're talking about the kind of plays he makes. What an amazing play.
Well, the thing is, you're thinking to yourself, let's be careful with the ball. We talked about, turnovers, and BHS just turned the ball over, so you're thinking, hey, we're safe. We got the ball in good field position. Let's see what we can do. And trying to make a play out of nothing, really, turn the ball over. But BHS finally got penetration that time.
That's right.
And it changed the whole complexity of their passing game.
It really sandwiched the quarterback Salilo. Make him cough up the fumble. PAT by Walker, and we have definitely a brand new game. And BHS will have some momentum going into the half, down 20-10.
It's time to stock up on the sodas and popcorn because the Sight and Sound Review Marathon starts December 10th. This is your last chance to see all your favorite episodes, starting with the very first show. And when it's over, these shows are gone forever. But when the shows are gone, the fun begins with an all-new Sight and Sound Review starting January 14th. So stay tuned for the Sight and Sound Review Marathon starting December 10th. And don't miss the debut of the all-new, totally different Sight and Sound Review starting January 14th.
Tired of all the holiday shopping hassle, jumping from store to store? Well, great gift ideas could be in your own home. Home videos of your kids' birthdays, weddings, and family gatherings make great gifts for the relatives you rarely get to visit. Time Warner Productions makes copies of your videos from any format to any format. And for your friends overseas, Time Warner Productions can convert your tapes to their foreign format. Tape repair is also available. So forget about driving all around town for Christmas gifts. Call Time Warner Productions today, 322-1941.
After one half from Griffith Fields on the BHS campus, it is Redwood High 20 and the Bakersfield High Drillers 10. And thanks to a great 50-yard return by Stewart of BHS, the Drillers are back to the game. Otherwise, they would have been down 20-3.
Well,
because they were totally dominated by Redwood in the first two quarters.
Complete dominance on both sides of the ball. Redwood really tore up the first half on the line of scrimmage, Mark. They executed so well on the offensive end. When they ran the ball, they did a great job up front. When they passed the ball, they did an outstanding job, I think, with showing BHS different looks. Gave the Drillers a lot of problems in their coverages, mixed things up, never gave them the same look twice, although they used the 3 wide receiver set quite a bit in the first half in BHS.
And it was successful.
Gonna have to make adjustments on that, or they're gonna have problems with that. But basically, up until about, a minute left in the first half, complete dominance by Redwood. And then all of a sudden, what BHS does so well, one takeaway on the fumble, and Stewart runs it back 50 yards for a touchdown, and BHS gets that momentum right back and kind of hangs on. But Redwood came in here and just really took control of this game from the very first drive, and they've had it ever since.
Their defense has been outstanding. They've had great penetration in the BHS offensive backfield. They made the big plays this evening. And as you mentioned, on offense, they've executed so well. But a quarterback, Mario Salillo, he can throw the ball. He can throw it 50, 55 yards downfield. He executes the short throws. He throws well on the run going right or left. He just does so many things well.
Well, he's done a great job, and he's mixed it up. I mean, he's looked for Woolley. Woolley's his guy. I mean, that's the connection there.
Number 80.
But they've thrown the ball well to different receivers, and they've mixed it up, and they disguise, really, their patterns very well. They mix people up, put them in different positions, and they get the matchups they want. But it's been an outstanding job play calling for this Redwood coaching staff in the first half, too. But Redwood doing it all. And the Drillers got a little reprieve, though, with Stewart running that back. That really saved them in the first half. Let's see if they can get it going in the second.
They always seem to have some player or a few players that make major plays throughout the game. And Walker's kicking tremendously tonight. This ball comes to Saring at the 2-yard line. Across the 15-20. And dropped down inside the 20-yard line. BHS has been an outstanding second-half team this year. They've struggled in the first half in the last 5 games. They've been outstanding the entire year in the third and fourth quarter.
And many people feel like when you get deep into the playoffs, that was going to be the thing that would really hurt the Drillers, is that they don't get off to a good start, Mark. And even though this is a great team and everybody knows that, the pressure of having to come back against the team that won't allow you to or won't make the mistakes, that people feel like that's where they're going to get beat. But this is going to be a fun game in the second half because it's not over yet.
Turns the ball carrier, nice cutback, and the BHS defense stacking them up. Lingo in on the stop, but it was mainly the play was by the down lineman for BHS.
Well, that's where they're going to have to win the second half right there. I mean, they're going to have to put their hands, I guess Coach Preston has that saying, I don't know, hands in the dirt or something like that, but that's where they're going to have to win this game, because really that's where Redwood has taken control of the whole game. They've really outplayed them up front. And
you know, the BHS players were playing volleyball with a football on Wednesday after practice, trying to loosen it up.
Well, you got to keep it loose, but you got to be ready to play and execute like Redwood has tonight.
Second down for the Rangers. Sarens again, hit and dropped in the backfield. What penetration by BHS. 79 was there, Scott Peterson.
So the keys right away are Redwood maintaining what they've done in the first half as far as their execution, keeping, just staying under control, knowing that BHS is going to have a run. And now, can they withstand that run and continue to be as poised as they have been through the first half? That's going to be the key.
You sound like an NBA coach.
Well, that's the truth, because great teams are going to come at you, Mark. I mean, you don't expect them to roll over.
Diaz in on the tackle for BHS, the linebacker. Salillo under heavy pressure, throws it complete to the 30-yard line. Across the 35 to about the 37, first and 10 for Redwood. Number 32, the fullback out of the backfield.
See, and again, that time, single back set. Willie was to the right. Nobody out there. He was wide open, not a linebacker in sight. A different look, and the Redwood coaches just keep coming up with great schemes to continue to confuse BHS in their coverages.
Watch Tyler Polson, number 9, the cornerback for BHS. He still looks to be a little shaken up.
Well, he took a shot, Mark, in that first half on the catch over the middle, so.
Squaglia with the reception for Redwood. And he has the ball as he gets across the 40 to about the 43. Well, they've thrown so many looks at BHS tonight. They've executed brilliantly their plays, and BHS have been caught off guard virtually the entire night.
Well,
Fortunately, Stewart came up with a big play to keep them close.
20-3 at the 1 minute mark in the second quarter, so you really got to talk about their defense more so than their offense. But we said time of possession, keep the ball out of BHS's hands. BHS only had 4 possessions in the first half. That's amazing.
4 possessions in 2 quarters. Lingo coming on the blitz. Running back, squad led, hitting the backfield and dropped at about the 42-yard line. Excellent penetration by BHS. Number 79 there for the Drillers. We talked about Scott Peterson, who's come out to play here in the third quarter.
This game could come down to kind of BHS having to outscore Redwood. And you know the Drillers can do that. I mean, they didn't look in the first half, but this is a BHS team that explodes and makes big plays. So this could be that kind of game, Mark.
Will it be a fantastic finish? Peterson and also number 77, Kyle Webb, converging on the tackle. 3rd down and 6 for Redwood. Salilo to throw. The pass complete to Woolley. Gets away from his man. To the 40, tripped up. Wow, by Dugas. Otherwise, he might have been off to the races. 1st and 10 for Redwood.
He beat Kelly Miller that time, and Kelly Miller's standing there like, I just got beat. I can't believe I just got beat on that pattern. Nicely done. It's just a simple curl pattern about 10 yards down the field, and actually got the flow going back to the right side, and he just came back, zipped it to the left, and there's Woolley open again. That's his favorite target.
You have to say one thing, Salilo has thrown the passes right on the money tonight.
Well, one of the things Redwood does is they give you a lot of different looks with their, and they give you a lot of misdirection. They'll come one way, throw the ball back. They'll come one way, they like to run their counters. So they're not predictable.
Look at that pass to this side, incomplete, right in the hands of number 24, Andy Thatcher. He's had a couple of receptions tonight. Nice throw to 30. Would have been close to a 1st down, but nevertheless, 2nd and 10 for Redwood. They haven't had too many drops tonight.
And that time, that was a little more of a roll to the left and throw back inside, and he was open. The ball was just dropped. And again, I can't remember the last time we've seen a BHS, because we talked about how improved this secondary was this year in their coverage.
They're on their heels tonight.
Well, they are. And again, BHS going to have to change some things up and get pressure on him, or he's going to pick them apart. Yavasa
wide to the right. Single coverage by Polson. Salilo rolling to his right, looking for Yavasil. His pass towards the flag, almost knocked away by Polson, and he did it at the 3-yard line. The fans here were calling for interference.
And Mark Polson's playing hurt. He got up slow on that one. He is not 100%, but great coverage. Great coverage.
Yeah, he definitely has shaken up ever since that hit in the first half, and he's jogging back very slowly.
He's a tough young man, though.
And I'll tell you one thing, Redwood's going to go right back at him.
Oh, yeah,
they see a guy shaken up.
They're going to keep
Single
coming at him.
coverage like that on a deep pattern.
Well, again, the play fake, linebackers come up, and you get one-on-one coverage. And
I tell you, this team goes for it, though.
Great protection again.
Sure.
He had all day to throw that ball.
That's the whole key. Quarterback with an outstanding arm trip set to the right for Redwood. Single running back behind Salilo. Now he sprints out right, looking downfield. The coverage breaks down. He throws it. Incomplete. Coverage by Dugas on Thatcher at the goal line.
And I really do believe that's the first time BHS has really, really covered that trip set well. So whatever adjustment they made that time, actually that was just man coverage. That was man on man. They just matched up and went man, and they did a great job that time.
Keeping their DBs busy.
Well, and that time Stewart got penetration on the rollout and forced him to throw the ball a little bit too early. So BHS did 2 things in that possession against that one set that's been hurting them. They got great coverage downfield. They got pressure on the quarterback.
Right. Really strung him out that time. He threw that on the run about 43 yards, a fine arm.
He's
definitely keeping their DBs busy tonight.
He's impressive.
Punt by Woolley, who does so many things for Redwood. Bounces straight up, and it's down by number 62 for the Rangers, Casey Hutchings, 184-pound senior. Third quarter action, 8:10 to play, 20-10 Redwood over BHS. The Drillers starting inside their own 15-yard line.
And I would say, for Redwood, you come out in the second half, that's a good possession.
Sure
for their first possession, second half, they've got the Drillers pinned inside the 20. They moved the ball down the field. They didn't score, but they took some time off the clock. They moved the ball. Exactly what they did in the first half.
They've been able to move the ball in every possession.
Yeah,
I think BHS has not stopped them on 3 downs once tonight.
Well, the thing is, they did stop them on this particular series, and it was crucial for the Drillers.
Lewis, the quarterback, I formation. McCoy caught in the backfield, gets by Harrington. Gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage and possibly a gain of a half yard, but The penetration by the Rangers, excellent as it was in the first 2 quarters.
And the longer this game goes, Mark, the less effective, really. I mean, it's a funny thing to say, but because BHS is so big, normally they take their lead into the 4th quarter, wear you out, they pound you, the USC thing. But in this game, they do have the ability to break big plays, but that ground game takes up the clock, eats up the clock. See, and I don't think they're going to be able to do that when it comes 4th quarter time. They're going to need big plays in a hurry.
Rodney Wright to this side. Catches the ball at the 21-yard line. They're thrown low in front of Woolley.
Well, that was a great catch. And Nate not really on yet tonight, not throwing the ball as crisp as we've seen him throw the ball, and he needs to kind of get back into that rhythm. And I think those short dumps to Rodney will kind of build his confidence and get him going again.
When you talk about Rodney and his game-breaking ability, he's an excellent receiver.
He's tremendous.
He can go for the ball whether it's low, high, or whatever.
Wherever you throw the ball in Rodney's area, he's going to catch it.
He's got great skill. 3rd and about 3 for BHS at their own 20-yard line. High formation. Bennett hit, breaks a tackle, has a first down for BHS. They drive him back.
And they'll give him that
He's
spot,
up to about
Mark,
the 25.
But that's what he does so well. Unbelievable. And again, he might be the guy that gets this running game going.
He was stuck by that linebacker. We talked about Maurice Rodriguez, who's 218 pounds.
Well, Rodriguez has played well.
Off it.
Yeah, Rodriguez has played really well, and you can't arm tackle him.
Yeah.
You got to wrap him up.
That was a good stick, but like you said, he didn't wrap him up.
Well, Bennett is so good in his lower body. I mean, you got to wrap him up and hold on.
We talked about that early in the year. He knows what it takes. You have a 3rd and 3. You need a first down. He gets it.
He's going to get it. He is definitely going to get it. And that's the same type of play that he's used to breaking. He'll break a big play on that play right there.
Against most teams. Redwood in the backfield at a loss. McCoy, the ball carrier. And boy, the Rangers with that excellent penetration, 37 in there. Tony Audino, a 205-pound senior linebacker, was the first guy.
Great penetration, though, Mark, again.
He was in the backfield before BHS running back to make his cut.
Turned that play in a hurry. It never even had a chance to develop.
They definitely have been tough to run against.
Yes, they have.
Almost seems like they're playing with 15 guys out there.
Well, they're doing a really nice job too, Mark, of getting their linebackers up in a hurry. I mean, and again, what you alluded to earlier, they know the drillers. I mean, they know a lot of the sets they like to run out of. They've scouted them, they've played them, so they really do understand, I think, some of BHS's tendencies, and that's helped them tonight. But the key thing is whether you scout somebody or whether you don't scout somebody, it doesn't matter. You got to execute the line of scrimmage. You got to block up front.
Like you could read all the books you want, but you have to act upon it.
Well, it doesn't, and it really doesn't matter the talent level. If you execute, you can beat anybody. That's the bottom line.
Just like in basketball.
Got to execute.
2nd and 12 for BHS. Lewis drop back and just throws it low, trying to hit right at the 35-yard line. Threw it quickly and low. That was like a bounce pass grounded to the shortstop.
That looked like that ball slipped out of his hand a little bit, Mark, because he didn't really have that ball. But not a good throw because Rodney was open.
He's had a little tougher time throwing tonight. Been more of a pressure situation as he's been down the entire game. And he's forcing some of his passes. Some of his passes just haven't been that good. He hasn't been on.
Well, Redwood, you got to credit Redwood, Mark, because they've been getting pressure on him. They've been getting up on him all night long.
Coming up around his back. 3rd and long for BHS. It's like a breakup. Reverse to Rodney Wright. The 20. Hit and popped at the 22-yard line. Number 37. We just called his name Tony Audino with a stick.
Mark, nobody was fooled on that play. The play kind of was a busted play, and Lewis really kind of, because I think they were going to run a double reverse, and it didn't happen. And
he
Lewis
went back and wasn't sure everybody was.
Turned and handed off to Rodney, and Rodney just...
You don't normally see Rodney Wright get hit that hard. Normally nobody gets that straight a shot on him.
Well, the bottom line is right now is Redwood defensively they're calling all the right sets, all the right plays right now.
They stuck pretty good, this team, I'll tell you.
Tell you what.
That was a pop.
Nobody was surprised on that, Mark.
No. That was a busted play, and they were hoping that Rodney could take it. As Walker punts it, end over end, not a far one. Takes a BHS bounce, hits it at 50, goes inside at 35 to about the 32, so a fortunate bounce for the Drillers. Sanchez downing it for BHS. Redwood maintains their intensity here in the second half. They had 20-10.
This isn't going to be an easy one for the Drillers right now because offensively they are completely out of sync. And everything, it seems like everything Redwood's done has been successful against the Drillers. Haven't allowed them to get anything going and beating them off the ball in the line of scrimmage all night long. BHS hasn't been able to run the ball. They've had a few possessions where they've thrown the ball well, but it hasn't been consistent. You're right.
which is very unusual. We're not used to seeing that. Ball given to second man, Sarens, and a flag is down. Bobby says it's holding
It always
against
is.
Redwood.
They throw the yellow rag in there, it's holding.
Gave it to the second man through. I'll tell you, number 37 in front of us, Audino, was very prominent in that last series for the Redwood D.
Well, Audino and Rodriguez have really played well tonight. They have, in a lot of situations with BHS trying to run wide, turned the play in and made plays themselves, but they've come quick, they've turned the play in, and Redwood's been there to wrap up every time.
Yeah, you're talking about wrapping up. They haven't missed too many tackles.
And BHS backs good at making you miss, always. Tremendous breaking tackles, but not tonight. Bennett has done it once, and that's it.
I don't think I've ever seen Rodney Wright hit that solidly one-on-one this year.
No, he normally
He's so slippery.
Well, he makes people miss, Mark. He's so good at.
He made a move, and the guy read it perfectly.
Yeah, put a hat on him, too.
Oh.
He got hit.
Woolley wide to the left for Redwood. Salilo to throw, looking for Woolley on a cross. Complete. Kellen Miller on the defense. I tell you, that pass was right on the money, and you got a receiver that can go up for the ball,
And
keep himself away from the defender.
And this is one of the few times I've seen a bigger receiver, because Miller's played bigger people this year, but one of the few times that I've seen people catch the ball in front of him. That's the second time that Woolley's done that. Coverage was good, but the timing and the throw was better.
The throw is great. And he's a very smart receiver. He knows that position.
Great,
He's fun to watch.
Great protection, though.
Yeah, that's
He's
the
had
whole
all
story.
day to throw the football.
Yeah, it was the wide to the right. He's looking this way. And a pass complete. Across the 40 to the 42. Short passing plays. Hits him right over the shoulder. I think we've only seen about one drop by one of their receivers when the ball's in their hands.
Close to the first down, Mark.
Close to the first down marker. They're calling a 1st and 10 for Redwood at about the 43-yard line, their own territory.
Well, we talked about at the end of the second quarter, and then as we came out into the third quarter, would Redwood be able to maintain their poise? And right now,
They have.
no problem. I mean, they look very comfortable out there, very confident. They don't seem to be overexcited or too pumped up.
Two receivers wide to the left, Thatcher and Woolley. Ball carries Sarens, breaks loose, midfield 50, 45, 40, cuts back to the 30, and dragged down at the BHS 28-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Rangers.
Mark, if they score on this possession, it's going to get very interesting for the Drillers, because they're going to have to put some points on the board in a hurry.
Polson, Lingo, Dugas, the BHS DBs, linebackers looking somewhat frustrated as they go back to the huddle.
Great run.
That was a great run, again an extra 10 yards.
And he should have been tackled at the line of scrimmage. The Drillers arm tackling a little bit there, and you can't arm tackle. Got to wrap up.
Jason Sarens has been a very impressive runner.
Yeah, he's ran really well between the tackles. Very, like we said before, that's what he does well.
Look at number 79, their right tackle, Brian Banks. He's 6'2", 275. And then 72, the left tackle, Kevin Jones, we talked about him. He's 6'4", 275. So both their tackles are 275.
And that's where they like to run the football, Mark. They run right, they run left off their tackles. And they've really, really done a nice job tonight blocking what I think really is the best defense that I've seen this year. No doubt about it.
How many turkeys those guys ate Thanksgiving Day.
I don't know, but
imagine them being bookends.
they've got some big, big boys.
3:51 to play in the third quarter. Redwood had 20-10, 1st and 10 at the BHS 27-yard line.
And Mark, just moving the ball at will.
Yeah, they
Doing
are.
what they want to do.
They've executed their game plan almost flawlessly, almost. At this point, they'll still only have a 10-point lead, despite the fact they have dominated this game. High formation for Salilo and company. Sarens, great block, 32. Across the 25 to the 23. That's a nice block by number 32 for Redwood, the fullback, Squaglia. He was on the defensive inner linebacker. He helped them gain a few yards on the play.
BHS in the first possession Redwood had, flying to the ball, making hits, excited. In this possession, a little bit different. They're a little slower to the ball. They've got to make a play. I mean, they made the play in the first half. They need to come up with another big play. But Redwood, the type of team, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, Mark. They're just real solid.
That's a slot right for Redwood. Split backs behind Salilo. Play action, nice fake again. Going into the end zone. Almost intercepted by Miller at the goal line. Pass a little bit underthrown to Woolley.
Mark, that was a tough throw. Running to his left, throws the ball on the line.
Yeah,
and Miller just made a great play. He should have picked that off. That should have been intercepted.
We talked about Salilo, who's 5'9", 158, and what a gun for a guy with not a lot of size.
Yeah, and he does it because he's really...
Remember Campy Campaneris, the former shortstop of the Oakland A's? He had a gun.
He kind of reminds me a little bit of Fran Tarkington in the way he sets up and throws the ball. I mean, they're dating a little bit, but that was my guy for the Minnesota Vikings.
I
used to love Fran Tarkington.
What a great scrambler.
But his technique is outstanding. He gets set up, and that's why he can throw the ball with such a strong arm, because fundamentally he's sound.
Squagler behind him. BHS coming on the play. Knocked down by Coffey, Jonathan Coffey. Yes.
He likes that, doesn't he?
He
Jonathan can get excited in a hurry.
And call me Jonathan.
He's a big cup of coffee, isn't he?
A little more pressure by BHS that time on Salilo.
But they're really still, that was a ball that was batted down at the line of scrimmage. They're not getting to him with regularity. They're really not. And I really thought they might have to mix some things up and blitz a little bit more and bring people. But they've done that though, and Redwood's picked it up.
And they burned him, yes.
Yeah.
I think timeout.
Mark, right
3:01 to play. It's Redwood 20, BHS 10. This is the Time Warner Prep Football Game of the Week, exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
The ravages of time. Just like paint, tape can oxidize, and oxygen is slowly eating away your most cherished family videos. A baby's first steps, first words, first birthday. These memories, once lost, can never be recovered. You can't stop time, but you can fight oxidation by duplicating your videos at Time Warner Productions. Our state-of-the-art repair and duplication services can help preserve your memories for future generations. Time Warner Productions, located at 3600 North Select Avenue in the Time Warner Cable Building.
4th and 5 for the Rangers. 3:01 to play in the third quarter at the BHS 23. Salilo barking signals. Sprint out left. The pass complete. First down to Sarens. Breaks loose to the 10. Dives forward to the 9-yard line. First and goal for the Rangers.
And it's the play we've seen all night long. Just a little dump over the middle. Slot man wide open. Gets a linebacker. And I'll tell you what, they're wearing that play out. The Drillers just have not covered that play tonight. They get in front of the safety or in front of the corner, in front of the linebacker. Doesn't matter who it is, who's ever covering back there. But that slot, the trips, and the slot guy in the trips has been open all night long.
That's the second time tonight they've been successful on a 4th down play. They scored a touchdown in the first half on a 4th and long. That was 4th and 5. Second Mount Sarens gets away from Stewart in the backfield, climbs his way to about the 5-yard line. Nice dance move by Jason. And Redwood knocking on the BHS door here at Griffith Field.
And Mark, right now,
the Drillers at this point not taking care of home territory.
The clock is the factor in the game right now because, like I told you before, Redwood scores right here. It's going to be tough. The way they play defensively, I'm not saying BHS can't because they've proven it all year long, but the momentum of this game and the way Redwood has proven that they can score every time they touch the ball puts more pressure on that BHS offense.
You got it. Salilo calling signals for the Rangers. Squagler up the middle, breaks a tackle to the end zone.
I'll tell you what, straight ahead, went right after him. Redwood came right back after having 3 plays. Actually, I think it was 4 plays. They punted, BHS held, got the ball back, did a nice job defensively like they have all night, kept their poise, drove the ball right down the field like they have all night long, put the ball in the end zone. It's just very impressive.
Nothing to it. If it wasn't for that fumble by the quarterback before the first half, it wouldn't be this close. Wooley's kick is up, and it is good. Redwood leading BHS 27-10. 1:49 to play in the third quarter. BHS has a mountain to climb.
Well, and the mountain is they've been so inconsistent offensively because that Redwood defense haven't been able to get anything going. And the other thing is they only had 4 possessions in the first half. So you got to sink. And then the Redwood defense is getting up in your face, they're making plays, changing their coverages, and they're getting penetration on the Drillers. And that's really been the difference in the game. They've just controlled the line of scrimmage, Mark, and they've just been dominating.
I don't think we thought that anybody could control the line of scrimmage against BHS this year.
Centennial did it for 3 quarters this year.
But see, in that game, it was a 0-0 game.
Right, exactly. But Centennial couldn't punch it in. Now you're in a situation where you're trailing and you've got to make plays. I mean, it's not like like you said, it's not a 3-point game or a 7-point game, or even a 10. I mean, now you got to make plays and you got to make them now.
Well, I've noticed a lot of frustration on the BHS team here in the second half, especially during this last drive.
Well, the thing is,
defensive players.
Again, you are who you are, and people are going to come after you, and that's why you're in this position, you're a good club, you've earned it, but now you got to play. People are going to come after you. They're going to come in here and come after you.
number 1 seed in the Central section, number 3 in the state coming in. The Drillers on the ropes as the kickoff goes past Rodney Wright with no chance to return it. 1st and 10 for the Drillers at their own 20-yard line. Well, we will have a rematch next week. We're not sure who will be playing in that game.
Right. Well, we are going to have
Centennial will be one of the teams.
Right. And now it's interesting. Let's see really what this BHS team's made of. Let's see where their poise factor is. Really, let's see, because really they obviously haven't been in this situation all year long.
No.
They have trailed, but we're talking about the 10-point, 7-point variety. We're not talking about 17 points down at this point in the second half. So this is a gut check time right here for the Drillers. I mean, their season's on the line.
I think they were down 7-6 to Arvin. Whoa! Play out to about the 25-yard line. And McCoy injured on that play, maybe a re-injury of that ankle, which he's been having some trouble with.
I think he got it. I think somebody landed on him that time, Mark, after he went down, and he's going off, and that's not good news for the Drillers.
So Dugas will be coming back in for BHS. He's been somewhat injured of late, as has been Bennett and McCoy. They've all had an assembly of ankle injuries. Bennett at fullback, Dugas at tail. 2nd and 4 for BHS. Dugas to the outside, cuts back. Excellent defense by Redwood, just not letting them break away.
There's just been nothing there on the ground tonight. Nothing
Grant
at all.
Harrington making the stop.
Again, he's been outstanding tonight.
Number 73.
He has really controlled the line of scrimmage, really. He really has, because he's been everywhere. And we've talked about how Redwood's linebackers have played so well tonight.
Yeah.
They really have played well.
3rd and about 4 for BHS at their own 25-yard line. Right, wide to the right. Lewis looking that way. Steps up, pass complete to Rodney. 1st down, breaks away to about the 40-yard line and knocked out of bounds.
And Mark, there's 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter, and then really Rodney's probably had 3 catches tonight, but it's the first time we called his number the whole 3rd quarter. And that's a credit to Redwood keeping the ball, time of possession, keeping him off the field.
And that's amazing. Clock is running at 25 seconds. BHS 1st and 10 at their own 41. They definitely need a score. We're not talking field goal. Of course, Redwood has been controlling the clock too. Lewis, Dugas, 40-yard line. Nice move across the 45 to about the 47. Breaks a couple of tackles along the way. Clock expires after 3 from Griffith Field. Redwood 27, BHS 10. You're watching a high school football game of the week exclusively on Time Warner Cable, Channel 16.
Would you like your advertising to be seen by large numbers of people? Seen by different age groups like kids or adults? Would you like your business's ad to be seen by any age 24 hours a day? Take a look at cable. The most choice, the most diversity. Time Warner Cable ads can work for you.
We start the 4th quarter from Griffith Field. BHS in dire straits, down 27 to 10. 2nd and short. Pass complete to Rodney Wright. 45. Oh, he is popped at the 40-yard line. What a hit. Oh, believe me, number 44 for Redwood. We've called his name. Wow, that's one of the best hits of the entire year. Maurice Rodriguez. That 218-pound linebacker.
And that's that time, see, he didn't quit on the play. He slid down the line of scrimmage and went after him. And he put a hit on Rodney.
Rodney's been popped twice tonight.
Hey.
That was a supreme blow.
But that time, that wasn't even his coverage. That was a corner coverage, a quick hitter, and he slid down there. And see, that's how they've been playing all night, Mark.
1st and 10. Pass complete to Rodney. Makes a move. A nice tackle by number 11 for Redwood. Brandon Wood, 1-on-1 tackle on Wright after gain of 4 or 5
Mark,
yards.
that was a late hit right
35.
there. That was a late hit. That should have been a hanky right
they
there.
didn't call anything.
He was already down. He was already down.
2nd and 5 for BHS.
I think, Mark, that they should have been getting the ball out to Rodney a little bit earlier in these types of situations, but they're doing it now.
We talked about the short passes, let him make his moves in the
But
flat.
I tell you what, Redwood doing a good job of keeping Rodney in front of him, not allowing him to make the big play.
2nd and 5 for BHS. Dugas almost loses the ball. Goes to about the 30-yard line. Should be shy of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and short for BHS. Early here in the 4th quarter. 44, Rodriguez in on the tackle again.
Still lots of time, Mark, but the clock becoming a factor now. And BHS trying to run the ball a little more successful now. picking up a little bit more each time. But Redwood, they've kind of bended tonight in certain series for the Drillers, but they certainly haven't broken at all.
Bennett, Dugas, counter. Pitch behind Dugas, going way back to the 40. Oh, another pop on the other side, and a big loss. That's Woolley coming up. Wow, what a stick.
And Mark, BHS, I mean, I don't know if Dugas didn't know the play. It looked like it was going to be a sweep, and Lewis went to pitch the ball, and Dugas was standing there, and it just had to pitch it to him, and another busted play in the BHS backfield.
I'll tell you one thing, when BHS goes around the outside, Redwood comes up and lays the leather on them. They've had 3 awesome hits here in the last quarter.
We've talked about how they've been pursuing to the ball. All night long, they've gotten people to the ball. Not one guy, but 2 or 3 guys.
We haven't seen a team hit BHS like this all year. 4th down for BHS, 4th and 10, they're going for it. Lewis to throw. Pretty good coverage, he'll run it. 35, and it's down. Redwood ball, 57 making the hit for the Rangers. Seth Hines. As Lewis couldn't break it that time, he saw a depth on scrambling out of the backfield.
Right now, Mark, BHS's defense is going to have to make a big play like they did in the first half. They are in trouble because Redwood, time of possession tonight, all Redwood. Clock, Redwood. They've done it all tonight.
They've hit, wrapped up, and what? They've laid some sticks on the Drillers.
They've done it all. They've really played well tonight. And hats off to the Redwood coaching staff because they had their kids prepared.
Salilo, the Sarans, hitting the backfield and thrown down by Dunn. They blow the whistle. Dunn doesn't stop. And due to Dunn's extracurricular activity, that's probably a penalty against BHS. He should have held up.
Really, the official should have blown the whistle a little bit sooner, Mark, but when he did, you got to stop. I mean, you're in this kind of a game. You don't want to hurt your team.
Well, the problem is that he drove him out of bounds.
Right. I mean, he should have
you
stopped.
Exactly. You got to go.
You got to
went past the limit there.
You got to stop.
He made a good play. We
And
had about a 5-yard stop.
You got a flagrant foul.
Yeah, that's just too much. You can't drive a guy out of bounds.
You're still in this game. You don't want to lose your composure at this point.
That's definitely frustration setting in there.
Oh, no doubt about it.
They had a chance at a 5-yard loss, and Redwood picks up 15 on the personal foul against BHS.
The thing that we're seeing tonight is that Redwood has definitely kept their composure. The BHS flustered, rattled, and have it, and that is a perfect example of it. And I think, I'm really impressed with how this Redwood team came in here. We knew they were playing well, but I'm just impressed with how they execute their poise. I mean, their defense is fired up, and they're flying around doing all that,
man.
but their offense is just real calm. They execute, they make plays, they don't get too excited. I mean, it's been a really awesome performance by this Redwood team.
1st and 10 for the Rangers at their own 46-yard line. Well, I talked about BHS being in dire straits, or even worse than that.
Hey,
With
Mark,
9:24 to play in the ball game, down 27 to 10.
We're at a point now where Redwood can score again. They've scored at will tonight. I mean, they've moved the ball on BHS. I think probably Redwood's had maybe 12 to 13 possessions in this game, and every time they could have scored on every one of them.
First back, Squagley, the ball carrier, picks up about a yard for the Redwood Rangers. It'd be second, actually back to the line of scrimmage, 2nd and 10 for Redwood. Coffee in on the tackle.
And I say they could have scored because of the overall game plan. I mean, they've really only hurt themselves in a couple of series tonight, really, because BHS has not stopped them. I mean, they've been that dominant. And now it's all about the clock, Mark. We're going down to the 8-minute mark. They got a 17-point lead.
Yavasil, short left for Redwood. Salilo, play action, looking downfield for Woolley. The pass, almost complete. Polson on the coverage. I don't know if he knocked it away at the last second or just bounced off of Woolley's hands.
And Polson is hurt,
close.
Mark. I mean, he didn't look like it on that play.
A gutsy performance by him.
He's hurt, and he's playing hurt, but a gutsy performance, you're right.
Number 9 for BHS.
I thought Woolley should have
his
caught
all.
that ball. I think he had it in his hands.
Yeah.
He just dropped it.
That pass was right there again.
Right on the money.
I'll tell you.
And he had plenty of time. Again,
Yeah.
the play fake all night long
man.
has just completely fooled the Drillers.
He throws he reminds me a lot of Kevin Sweeney, played for Fresno State in the early
I know, he
80s.
does.
Not a big guy, but a great
strong
long
arm.
thrower.
Yeah, strong arm.
Played for, I don't know if he played for Bullard or Hoover High School. Set a lot of records. It's a little rolling to his right, has a protection to pass. Nice catch by Thatcher, hit by Lingo
He caught it that time. Dropped one earlier, but not that
at
time.
the 47-yard line. Nice thrown catch as they spread the defense out.
In front of the linebacker again. They got that slot guy on the linebacker again. Very tough coverage, and all night long it's been there.
Fourth down, they'll be punting, I think, for only the second time tonight, Redwood.
But still, ate some time off the clock, did what they wanted to do.
They've used time off the clock in every possession tonight.
And they've been smart. They didn't turn the ball over. They didn't give BHS not going to have good field position. And the way Willie's been doing everything, he'll probably kick the ball away just exactly the way he wants to, away from right.
Man, their hits will be on somebody's highlight films this weekend. Oh, I couldn't believe they had like 3 within about a 3-minute span.
Well, they'd come after the drillers. They just flat out come after them.
Right at the 10-yard line, straight up field, 20. Try to strip off his towel, and he gets across the 25 to about the 26.
Mark, if he wouldn't have stumbled, he was gone. If he wouldn't have fallen that time, he broke that one.
But I've never seen Rodney Wright stuck twice in a game like this tonight.
Well, I think
especially the second time.
Defensively, sometimes you can change the game by making people play in certain situations. And I know what Redwood's done tonight is they haven't allowed BHS to get into their favorite sets. They haven't allowed them to run the ball. So really, they've been able to do what they've wanted to do defensively, and BHS hasn't been able to do anything offensively. Nothing. Nothing's worked.
Walker wide to the right for BHS. Right, slot left, Lewis. Dugas behind him. He has the ball. Hit and dropped in the backfield. Number 95 for Redwood making the tackle. That would be Josh McLean, 203-pound senior. I tell you, they're just not breaking the tackles.
And BHS going with the no huddle now, Mark, to save time.
Like the Buffalo Bills. Lewis out and up, flag is down. The pass almost picked off, completed, but most likely a hold against BHS as the reception goes to Rodney Wright.
It might be a procedure penalty though, Mark. It depends on where the ball was, where the flag was thrown, and I think it is going to be procedure. It is. Because they went with the no huddle and they didn't get set. And that ball should have been picked off. That ball was in and out of the hands of Rodriguez, and with the way he's playing,
oh wow,
he probably would have run that one back in, ran over about 9 guys on the way.
There would be anybody that was going to stop him from getting to the end zone. 7:15 to play, 27-10 in favor of Redwood. And their safety, Yavasil, is back about 20 yards behind the line of scrimmage. He won't let anybody get behind him. That includes Rodney Wright. Rodney has maybe caught about 6 passes tonight. Most of them have been short, as you said, in front of the DB. They haven't let him get loose tonight.
No, they've done an excellent job of containing Rodney tonight.
Walker wide to the right, Rodney slot left. Lewis, screen pass to Bennett. Breaks one tackle, goes out of bounds across the 22, about the 22. Redwood doing a good job over there. Jason Sarens playing a little bit of linebacker, kind of strung him out. And number 37, he's made some pops. Tony Adino. The outside linebacker. Their
linebackers are studs, flat out studs, and they played like it tonight. Pursuit of the ball, have played the pass well, played the run well. I mean, they've just done it all. But credit the guys up front, though, for getting pressure on Nate tonight. They haven't let Nate get into his rhythm.
No. It's 3rd and 12 for BHS. Lewis to Walker with the reception. Hit and dropped across the 30 to the 32. Be close to the first down. A tackle by number 11 for Redwood. Going to be Brandon Wood. On 4th down, BHS will be going for it. Down by 17. 4th and 4. Lewis to throw. The pass complete to Rodney Wright. Across the 35 to the 37. Should be a first down for BHS as they go in that no huddle. Great catch
by Rodney.
No huddle offense. BHS trying to pick it up. 6:18 to play. They're down by 17. They have to score in a hurry. Bennett behind him. Bennett with the ball. Breaks a tackle. Dives forward across the 45 to about the 46. The tackle by number 37. We've called his name Tony Adino.
Adino doing a great job. He's been all over the field, just like Rodriguez has been tonight.
The question is, will we have a fantastic finish this evening?
Well, I think it's going to be awfully difficult for BHS the way this Redwood defense is playing, Mark. They're just playing so solidly.
See, they'll give up the 5 to 10 yard plays.
Well, it's all about the clock. And we said if Redwood could maintain what they did in the first half and take that into the fourth quarter, it was going to be very difficult for BHS because, you know, I really believe coaching-wise, no matter where you go, you have to play within your strengths. If you can go someplace and play on the road as tough as it's going to be to play, you came here last year and won. You feel comfortable. You know what it takes to do that. You've got returning players, like we said.
Yeah.
If you can maintain your poise and execute I mean, if you had to say who had the better athletes on either side of the team, you'd say BHS has the better athletes. There's no doubt about that. But the athletes have to play within the system and execute in order to win. Tonight, Redwood.
And attitude has a lot to do with it.
Well, it does.
Too.
But you have to go out and execute the game plan. Tonight, Redwood's kids have done that to the T.
And Redwood has had to play 2 consecutive games on the road.
Yeah, well, I mean, but the thing is, I mean, they're used to it, Mark. I mean, I think they feel comfortable doing that, really.
Probably
I
do.
think you get to a point where you really do feel that way.
6:09 to play. 2nd and 1 for BHS. Roddy Wright, slot right. Gary Austin to the side. Lewis looking this way. Pass to Wright, overthrown. That quick look over the middle. Throw it hard and high.
But see, I don't think Nate really saw. I mean, he knew Rodney was there, but they got pressure on him again. But that's the pass that they haven't gotten to Rodney.
Yeah.
In the
split that
crease.
defense.
In the crease, he hasn't gotten that ball tonight, Mark.
That's the kind of pass if he catches it, he's 50 yards or so for the touchdown. 3rd and short for BHS. Want to get the first down on this play. Don't get into a 4th down situation, which really can get hairy. Lewis on the keeper. Has the 5th down. Midfield 50 to about the 45, dives forward. 1st and 10 for BHS.
Right there, Mark. That was a nifty play because there was nothing up the middle. He just busted it outside. You know, for as difficult that it's been on him tonight, Mark, not being in his rhythm at all, he's a competitor.
Oh,
he
yeah.
stayed right in there.
Looking to the sidelines for the play. Under 6 minutes to go in the game. BHS still down by 17. Lewis draw play to Bennett. Hitting the backfield as he gets across the 45 to the 44.
Mark, and tonight,
Redwood has been wrapping up 95.
That's a good call.
McLean.
It's a good call in that situation, but BHS normally would break those, but Redwood has not allowed that to become a big. They haven't allowed BHS to break any big plays tonight.
Great wrap-up job by Josh McLean. Lewis to throw. Pass complete. Across the 30 to the 27 to number 5, Gary Austin.
See, even if the Drillers score here,
Junior.
Mark, Redwood has taken such good care of the ball. Only 1 turnover tonight, so it's going to be very difficult to get it back.
You know they'll try an onside kick, BHS.
It's going to be hard to get the ball back.
1st and 10 for the Drillers. Play and a pass complete
I've
to
never
Rodney
seen
Wright
anything
inside
like
the
that.
20 to 23.
Nate took the snap, and the official was winding the clock, and everybody stopped. So Nate just dumps it out to Rodney. I mean, that could have been a big play.
Well, don't they stop the clock when they change the
but BHS
marker?
was already on the ball and took the snap. I've never
Crazy.
seen that before.
5 minutes to play, 2nd and 5. Draw play to Bennett inside the 20 to about the 19. And he's
Clock
close
running,
to the first
Mark.
down marker, but shy
Clock
of it by
running.
at least a
Clock
yard.
running.
4:50 to play in the game. Still down 27 to 10. 3rd and maybe 2 for BHS. Quick work in a hurry. Inside the 20. Bennett looking for Walker. The pass almost picked off. Whoa, by number 57 for Redwood. Seth Hines.
And
He's laid a few hits
Seth
tonight.
was waiting for that one.
Yes.
He was waiting for that one. He knew it was coming.
And that definitely would have been all she wrote.
And that time, actually, Nate should have waited a little bit longer because Walker would have been open on a deeper slant. He threw the ball too quick that time.
He's been forcing things a lot tonight because
And now we got
they've been
another
behind.
penalty, and that's going to hurt them,
Yep.
and that's a big one.
That's a 15-yarder against BHS, a team that's been out of sync the entire evening, as Redwood has really thrown them for a loop offensively and defensively. BHS has shown a lot of frustration tonight. We've seen it on some of their plays. They've hurried throws, they've hurried their offense.
Well, we wondered what kind of adjustments BHS would make offensively and defensively, and this hurry-up offense has been effective. But then again, it's effective against more of a prevent type Redwood defense. So whatever Redwood did, their adjustments have been a little bit better.
3rd and 12 for BHS. Play action. Lewis to throw. Heavy pressure, and he goes down. Grant Harrington at the 40-yard line with a tackle.
There hasn't been anybody in blue uniform tonight that's been able to block that guy. He's been doing
I
it
told
all.
you about him
He
before
is
the
tough.
game.
Nobody's blocked that guy, no matter who they put on him.
I know some people in the stands that are pumped up watching him play tonight.
Yeah, well, you're at the 4:20 mark. You're up 27-10 if you're Redwood. If you can hear the fans on the Redwood side.
The
starting
Rangers
to
of
smell it.
Visalia, 4:21 to play. 4th down for BHS, 4th and 20.
And 4 minutes for Redwood is like a minute.
Oh, wow.
Really, the way they've hung on to the ball tonight, I mean, it's going to be awfully difficult. And they don't turn the ball over, Mark. They just refuse to turn the ball over.
The play action as he's looking downfield, he just simply hasn't had time to throw. He's missed some of his patterns. But credit to Redwood defense. Great pressure on him by their down linemen. When BHS has run the draw, Redwood, they've always been a linebacker there to wrap up.
All year long, BHS has beat people up front on the line of
So
scrimmage.
same type of plays.
Right, but they've dominated people up front, and that's been the difference. I think when they had problems with Centennial for 3 quarters, it was because Centennial matched them smash mouth for smash mouth. But then the big play factor came into play, which we anticipated in this game. Redwood didn't allow the big play. They've done the same thing Centennial did to BHS, except they haven't allowed the big play.
Well, Centennial did not show as much versatility on offense as Redwood has tonight.
No, I mean,
I then remember Rodney Wright turned a 10-yard pass to a long gain. Then he got past their defense late in the game when they sort of got tired.
The difference has been on the line of scrimmage, Mark.
4th and 20 for BHS at the Redwood 40-yard line. They're coming at Nate Lewis. He fires it complete. 30-yard line, out of bounds, and shy of the first down. Number 5, Gary Austin, and Redwood will take over. 1st and 10 for the Rangers. 4:14 to play. They lead BHS 27-10. I'll tell you one thing, this is definitely a surprise to yours truly.
Well,
as you know, I picked BHS before the game, but I hadn't seen Redwood.
Well, the thing is, we knew Redwood was playing extremely well. And like we mentioned, coming in, only allowing 9 points scored in their last 5 games, being on the road and winning big like they have. But what a great job this coaching staff has done with this group.
Oh, yeah.
Because they've come in here and just out-executed the drillers. Everything they've done has been to a T, to perfection.
Thatcher to White. Sarens the ball carrier across the 30 to the 35. I thought somebody for Redwood moved early, but no flags were down.
And now we're in that
I guess they're off the ball so quickly.
And now we're in that timeout situation for the drillers. They've got to be smart with it, try to get the ball back. But at this point, Mark, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be awfully difficult for BHS. Again, we couldn't have said that, I don't think, at any point this year in watching the drillers play because of their outstanding talent. But Redwood tonight, they've neutralized all that by their game plan. Just an outstanding job.
High formation for the Rangers behind Salila, who's had a marvelous game at quarterback. Squagley, the ball carrier to the 35, and tackled by number 77 for BHS, Kyle Webb. And time is running down for the drillers. 3:28, down by 17. They definitely have to strip the ball, come up with a turnover, and maybe another one of those 35 or 40-yard fumble returns. That's been their only touchdown tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing.
The offense hasn't
done anything. That's what I'm talking about. I mean,
Nate Lewis scrambled around and set up that 37-yard field goal.
Their ability, and we don't have time of possession listed right now. We don't have it in front of us, but that's going to be the difference in this game when you talk about how long they've had the ball and the amount of time BHS has.
Rolling to his right. He'll keep it to the 40 and down, actually down to the 38. He'll be shy of the first down. It'll be 4th and 2. Nice tackle by, I think, Lingle by BHS on the far side. Looked like he had a chance to cut it up and get the first down. He went to the right.
And they should kick this ball, Mark, and they will. Kick the ball, make BHS go down the field. BHS got to score.
Wow, 2:37 to play.
BHS got to have 2 touchdowns and a field goal, and they've got to score 3 times.
Rodney Wright's got to take it all the way for a touchdown now, no matter where it's kicked. And he's standing back at his own.
Well, they're not going to kick the ball to him, Mark.
I know.
They're not going to kick the ball to him.
I would just kick the ball out of bounds to keep it away from him. I know they don't want to stop the clock. I would kick it on the left side of the field. Probably a delay of game penalty against Redwood.
This is the first time tonight where Redwood hasn't executed.
I think they care too much. It's only a 5-yard penalty. It'll make it 4th and 7. The ball will be at their own 33-yard line. They'll be punting probably from their own 20. So 5 yards doesn't make a lot of difference at this stage. It makes a difference of 60, 70, and 80 yards in time, and time is on their side at 2:15. 2:15 to play.
Mark, there's going to be some shocked people when they watch this game.
The shocked person standing right next to you. Woolley with the punt. High, beautiful, his best of the night. Fair catch by Rodney inside the 30 to 29, so no run back for Rodney Wright. 1st and 10 for BHS.
Well, it's got to be a big play in 2 or 3 plays, and then a turnover, Mark, and then a big play, because I'm going to tell you what, right now, they're running out of time.
A lot of things have to go their way.
It's not going to happen tonight, Mark. And this tremendous season that BHS has had, and what a great season it's been for them, is going to come to an end. Right now, this Redwood team is not going to allow BHS to score 3 times. Not in 2 minutes.
Nate Lewis looking over the defense. Looking for Rodney Wright. Out pattern. High over his head. It might have been a tough play for Shaquille O'Neal, as he had to climb maybe a couple ladders to catch that one at the 40-yard line.
Good coverage that time, too, again.
Okay, 2nd and 10 for BHS. they definitely have thrown them simply off their offensive game plan. We're not able to run the ball effectively against Redwood. Lewis has forced some throws. The coverage has been excellent other times. They put ample amount of pressure on him defensively. Credit those front seven for Redwood, the down linemen and the linebackers, are really doing the job. Make things a little bit easier for the defensive backs. They come from behind to Lewis, shakes a tackle, throws on the run, complete. I thought it was complete. Incomplete to Rodney Wright as he dropped it at the 47 as he looked to run with it. I was anticipating like Chick Hearn that time, thinking the pass was going to be complete.
It's been a tough night for Rodney. I think they've really had the umbrella on him. You know, he's got things inside the umbrella, but nothing on the outside, and there have been no big plays. And just a great job by this Redwood team, Mark. What can you say? That's why it's such a great thing athletics are. If you coach your team and you're well prepared and you game plan and your kids execute, you can beat anyone.
That's right. There's no guarantees in sport, in football. Lewis will run it to the 30-yard line. Nice cutback, 35, 36, and now he goes down. A couple of Rangers in on the tackle. One of them, number 44, we call his name Maurice Rodriguez.
You know, talking about this BHS season.
Number 37 also, Tony Adino.
And how it's going to end. This Redwood team, the way they're playing right now, I mean, they could easily win the Valley, Mark. I mean, they are that good. I mean, they got to go to Centennial and play there. But I'll tell you what, this is a good football team, Mark. Solid, versatile. They do everything well. They execute, and they're playing their best football right now.
Well, Centennial has a chance to avenge a defeat. BHS couldn't do it tonight from last year. The Golden Hawks will have a chance next week at home.
It's going to be an exciting game, no doubt about it.
1:26 to play in BHS.
But what a great season the Drillers have had, Mark. I mean, we've covered them. A tremendous season, and their seniors, Bennett and Lewis.
Well, let's see if you agree with me. I thought, and I had mentioned early in the year when BHS beat Clovis West and beat Capistrano Valley, they were playing very well. I said, this team looks like they're playing about as well as they can play. Can they improve? Can they keep that intensity?
We talked about that, Mark. You've got to find ways to challenge your guys and move into those areas late in the season to continue to improve.
I don't feel personally the team improved in the last month. We talked about the problems they had in the first half.
Right, well,
they never quite reached that kind of level that people expected of them.
You run into teams like a Redwood and other teams that maybe early in the season not a lot was expected of them, and they weren't playing as well, but yet finished well. Well coached, great game plan. This was a difficult matchup for the Drillers because they lost to them last year, even though the revenge factor gives them the advantage. But you're talking about a team in Redwood that knows the ins and outs of BHS because they beat them here at Griffith Field. But just a tremendous job. But this Redwood team, I'll tell you what, they've got it going on, no doubt about it. I mean, they are playing as well as anyone. It's going to be a very, very good game against Centennial. It's going to be difficult for Centennial when they play Redwood because Redwood has so many different weapons, but Centennial so good defensively. And
they showed in their game tonight or today that they could score
that they can put points on the board. So see, Centennial, another team like Redwood, consistently got better, and now they're playing well when they need
to. Time in the
right,
playoffs.
Exactly. But
well, if a win, Redwood would be 9-2-1, BHS 11-1.
Well, what a great season for the Drillers on there. Tremendous. I mean, they've had an outstanding season. They've done some great things.
As you know, Bobby, it's very hard going through a season undefeated.
Oh, it is. I mean, Mark, we even talked about
sometimes a loss does you good early in the year.
We had talked about that.
But the pressure builds and builds.
Even
number one in the section, number 3 in the state.
Even when they weren't scored upon, and then when they went through games where it was the times where they weren't being challenged, and that's what you spoke of. But the bottom line is when you get here, BHS has been here.
It's just a one-game season.
Tonight, they just got outplayed. They got outplayed by a team that was well prepared, well coached, who executed and took everything away that BHS tried to do. And Redwood, you can't say anything more about them. They were outstanding. But what a great season the Drillers have had. Outstanding. Take our hat off to them, Coach Preston. And what a great group. And they're going to be good next year. Rodney Wright will be back, and they're going to be exciting. But what a great season they've had.
Second and short for Redwood. Split backs behind Salilo. A 27-10 game. Number 35 with his first carry of the ball game, Gabriel Gianandra, 170-pound junior. Clock down to 50 seconds. And Redwood stunning the Drillers on their home field, Griffith Field.
Back to back, Mark.
Oh, wow.
Back to back.
Side of so many Driller victories and championships in the past. And a stunner, a surprise, there's a lot of words we can describe for this fantastic performance by the Rangers tonight. They totally took BHS out of their game, both offensively and defensively. Kept Rodney Wright in check. the most anybody has done this year.
And won the war down in the dirt.
Oh, won the war in the trenches.
Yep.
Offensively and defensively.
Took control early and never let it come back and just dominated BHS.
And Salila with the knee down. That should be the last play of the ball game. Clock down to 20 seconds. I wouldn't call it a major upset, but it is an upset nevertheless.
Well, I think it's a big upset, and we talked about why, but what a great season for BHS. We applaud them, and it's a tough way for it to end, but they just got outplayed by a team tonight that's playing well and a great scheme, great coaching job, and a great execution job by the kids in Redwood. Tremendous job tonight.